Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Flintlocks and Fireballs, where a handful of mad actors will attempt to survive the revolutionary depths of Dungeons and Dragons. I am your host and Dungeon Master Jason Phelps, and I am joined as ever by Robbie, See No Evil Bellekom, Sam, Hear No Evil Burns, and Ellie, Tweet No Evil Sparrow.
I refuse and will tweet all the evil.
Yes.
And you're the producer.
Yeah,
so.
I can tweet as much evil as I like.
Hello and welcome to episode 36, which, as Sam has handily informed me just before we start recording, is halfway to 72, guys.
Imaginary Masters!
Like I also said, you get your kicks where you can.
Oh.
We're all together again.
Yay!
It's the second day in a row.
Yay!
And it's all I can't think of a third thing to say, but I feel like there
Yay!
should be three. Yay!
I feel like the next one we record will actually also
Next time we'll
also be together, but not at ours for once.
Oh,
I think. No.
we'll be at Robbie's house.
Please.
That Robbie has. She does actually have a permanent
Yes.
house. You know, she's usually everywhere. Yeah, this is true.
Robbie's house, which is located in Somewhereville, none of your business show, as I previously mentioned on Robbie Watch.
Yeah, it's located in Pugland.
Yes. In a land full of pugs. In Pugmire! No. Apparently it's quite a good RPG.
But no, seriously, Robbie has like 4 pugs living on her street.
They are so cute.
They're so cute.
They are so cute.
They are monsters.
They are abominations against nature, but they're adorable.
So does that
We should
mean
never produce more of them.
No, we should stop. But the
Next
ones
week-
that are here, we should love them.
Yes. Speaking of abominations against nature, it's that time where we peer into the future and ask, future us, what messages from the present? Hey there, Past Jason. You're an abomination against the past. It's Future Jason, however, with messages from the present. So let's talk about dice. Libris Arcana offers monthly or quarterly dice subscriptions. Head over to librisarcana.com and for less than $12 just under £9, you can receive a set of 7 premium dice and 1 randomly selected bonus die every month to sate the will of the die-hungry beast below. This month's set is the Hawaiian Sunset, a Libris Arcana exclusive set. Dice are great, and they've been one of the most loved analog number generators for millennia for a reason. But what if Libris Arcana offered collections in alternate universes where something else was used for deciding chance in role-playing games? What if instead we used lice? Okay, so we uncork the vial, shake it over your head, and there. Now, how itchy would you say you feel on a scale of 1 to 20? 20? Oh, great, that's a crit. My head really itches. There's blood! Possibly a crit fail. Rice. Okay, 1, 2, 3, throw! Now start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 grains of rice. This is why you don't invite vampires to rice tossing. Ice. Okay, reach into the bucket and let's see how many cubes you can fit into your hand. I want to say 7. Then you take 7 points of damage, doubled because you're vulnerable to cold. That's really annoying. Don't lick the ice cubes. Mice. I feel a little uncomfortable about this, but they're so adorable with their tiny outfits and weapons. Yeah, I know they're cute, but I feel like having mice act out our battles might just be animal cruelty. Adorable animal cruelty! Nice! You look really nice today. I like the beard oil. Oh, what a lovely compliment. That's a critical hit. You cut the gnoll's head off. Yeah, and your breath's a lot nicer today as well. And that was a bit backhanded. Rocks fall on your character. You die instantly. Spice. Okay, so everyone take your spice capsules. Alright, Baron Harkonnen. I want you to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. Give me spice. Drive them into utter submission. Do not show the slightest pity or mercy. Never stop. Go, go. Show no mercy. Okay, so that's a success in your grapple check. What about you, Dr. Yue? I sabotaged the shield generators. I've brought House Atreides down. Wait, what? Why would you do that? I wanted to kill a man. Not you, my dear Duke. You were already dead. Okay, yep, sure, why not? The generators are down, Harkonnen forces are flooding the halls. Paul, what do you have for us? I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. Okay, and that's a success on your courage check. Next up in the turn order is Shai Hulud. Size. Alright, so everyone out on the table, lads. Okay, Tim wins. Everybody else, let's go home and cry ourselves to sleep. Or eyes. What the fuck? Why are there eyeballs on the table? Whose eyeballs are on the table? Ah! Listen up for a spot from our friends over at Steamrollers during the break this episode. You can catch Ellie Sparrow guesting at the Adventurers Wanted mixtape show on the 27th of March at the Market House in Brixton. Mixtape is a show where the cast of Adventurers Wanted and various guests play a different system every month, which gets voted on by their Patreons. This month, they will be playing Lady Blackbird. If you happen to be an Adventurers Wanted patron, you can watch it on their live stream in real time, and if not, or if you're not in London and don't want to see the live show, you can still watch it as the show will come out later that week on YouTube. And that's it for announcements this time. We'd like to give a big thanks to all of our stowaways, in particular because this week marks us passing the 20,000 download mark. Collectively, you have been with us through 20,000 gut-wrenching episodes and utterly ridiculous songs about fish and musical towns. And we cannot thank you enough for joining us on this madcap adventure. As ever, if you're enjoying the show and want to show your support and help us keep creating content, you can always buy us a coffee on our coffee, link in the episode description, with every drop going towards improving the show. So, with that in mind, it's back to you, Past Jason. Start your summoning chant now. Bug, 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 bug,
Buggity
bug,
buggy
bug,
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 bug, What is happening?
Robbie has been throwing threw a sock at me, doing a glove, and then just tried to throw a sock at me afterwards. I'm not really sure why. Possibly just because we were summoning bugs.
That would be amazing.
If you say.
How did they get up all the stairs?
There are so many stairs. Oh, with their tiny legs, they would be incapable.
Patter.
They really would have to be carried or take the left.
Yes.
But then how would they reach the button?
Oh.
One on top of each other.
That's exactly
Press
how
their cold, wet nose.
Are we saying 3 pugs in a trench coat are on their way to us? Because that's what I want to be happening.
It needs to be considerably more than 3 bugs in a trench coat.
That's the
Like
world
8
we
pugs
want
in
to
a
live
trench
in.
coat. 3 pugs in a trench coat would be almost a Corzin.
Yes, it would.
Speaking of 3 pugs in a trench coat.
And Corzin.
It's time.
It's been a long day, guys.
To just break down in tears.
We've been doing a lot of singing today.
Been doing a lot
For a
of
long
singing
time.
today.
And we're all
You know
quite
that
mental.
whole really impressive, we hope, Jimothy rendition that you got in bonus content? We did that today.
Yeah, it was like an afternoon.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
Yeah,
but
and
also
the neighbour
we're
wouldn't
really
stop
tired.
drilling the whole time.
Oh god.
What was he hammering for so
Just
long?
hammering and drilling.
Listeners, write in and tell us what you can consistently hammer for half an hour straight.
Without pause.
Because I don't understand what that could possibly be.
No.
But
It's every person, because the rhythm wasn't regular enough to be machined.
No. But on the subject of regular machines, it's time, as ever, to begin. Flintlocks and Fireballs. Our land stands on the sabre's edge.
Our cities are a powder keg.
Brother chains, brother, no one's free. A life on land is short, you'll see.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.
Previously on Flintlocks and Fireballs. GM broke after the party managed to somehow glue, just presumably by body heat and maybe licking the base of them, stick a series of D4s to their foreheads. At least one of which is rainbow coloured, thus bringing us to the subject of rainbow unicorns. Previously on Flintlocks and Fireballs, rainbow unicorns. Previously, after journeying through Saul for some time and finding themselves in the capital of Alessant, accidentally kicking off a revolution.
Whoops!
Oopsie daisy.
The party engaged in some smuggling, met some new friends, broke one of them out of prison, the Great Bastard, which was then immediately stormed, and, long story short, fled Alessant as the National Guard was forming up to defend the nascent National Assembly against the arriving forces of the king. They headed south to Cayonne, following a lead that would hopefully bring them, at last, to Liadon. Journeying along with them, they acquired a new travelling companion who was also headed to Cayonne and took advantage of the high rate of speed provided by Scamp's tireless conjured rainbow unicorn, now pulling a hastily repaired every night cart through magic due to the stresses it's being put through, and therefore able to travel about 3 times as fast as if they were going on foot. The party has, over the last 4.5 days, had time to talk to Matcher and perhaps, depending to some degree, bonded with him. However, after travelling through for several days, Celestia, have you been taking any opium during this time?
Probably not on the
balance
road.
of probability then is that you've shaken your addiction again.
I can roll 4 saves in a row if you want, but
Ooh,
that seems boring.
After travelling through, you've been taking the land route to Cayonne due to information that the sea route is currently being locked down by the Crown. Heading south of the Alisrali, not kind of staying well away from the towns of Delevant or Planchette, and going through Terrachamp, southeast. We did this whole never eat shredded wheat thing last episode. Towards the port town of Cayonne, on the mouth of the River Tretch. So, as you arise on the morning of the 22nd, the full frost, still deep in the heart of winter, you awaken to a fairly thick blanket of snow covering the area around your campsite. The last person on watch, assuming that you get similar watches to before, is Celestia. Mm-hmm. So you rouse the rest awake, and once again, Matcher Mistson, your companion, halfling companion, begins the process of making breakfast from a mixture of army rations and what you've been able to scavenge from the countryside, or indeed just brought with you, as many of you do still have supplies.
Yeah, it still have rations.
You have all used up 4 days of rations.
Okay.
So, you find yourself. So as the sun rises, you are but less than 20 miles from Cayonne itself. And you can see that there are fairly clear skies. There's a few clouds here and there. It's not a bright... Well, clear skies within a degree. Actually, they're not really clear at all. They're that sort of winter sky you get, where here and there there's thin patches of cold blue, but mostly it's a kind of grey overcast from which every now and again you'll get just the dull white of a winter sun poking through the clouds or just illuminating everything. The net result of this is that the countryside, pretty much as far as you can see in every direction, is a sort of uniform, featureless sort of white, pocketed here and there by trees or the occasional burnt-out barn. Still, though, you've been loosely following the banks of the Tretch, and from the map of Seoul that you were given by Elizabeth.
Excuse the rustling, this is we're just getting a map out.
As you unfold it, you can see that you don't have long to go now. As Matcha begins dishing out hot beans to you, he goes, well, we're almost here. We shall probably be coming out through the north gate of the city soon. If I may offer some advice, Scamp. As wild a ride as it has been, perhaps for the last 30 miles or so, you might want a slightly less... what is the word I'm looking for here?
Conspicuous?
Conspicuous.
Fancy as fuck.
Pretty.
Beautiful.
Mount. Maybe something that... Maybe just more along the lines of an ordinary horse?
Fine.
We can have pretty ones again another time. I love them.
We don't want to advertise our arrival.
I mean, if we're trying to, be a bit subtle,
Yeah.
I know that's from me, but rainbow horse might be a bit much.
I'll make Bill. But bigger.
Fantastic.
Well, alright then. Stretches, cracks his neck a little bit. Once we get into the city, I will most likely head off towards the Arsenal to make contact with General Fernand and see what there is to see. As he's having his breakfast, he has every morning or evening, just taken out his little gold nibbed pen and just been making notes in what you presume is his diary. It seems to be a regular habit of him, and he does so while he's talking to you. From there, well, I have no doubt we will meet again. What are your plans?
Hopefully meeting up with an old friend.
Well, best of luck.
Thank you.
What are you writing?
My memoirs.
Ah. Do we get starring roles?
Perhaps in this chapter. But who knows? Perhaps you will reoccur in future chapters of my memoirs. Perhaps in yours. Who knows?
If I do a memoir, I'll put you in.
It would be much appreciated.
Always thought I should write one, but never quite got around to it.
I can write.
Yes, we've seen. In the sky now.
You spelled everything right. Every single thing. It was really impressive.
Well, let us pack up. And if you will forgive the imposition, let us ride our much less impressive and pretty horse. Well, you and I, says gesturing to Corzin, will ride the horse and you can sit in the carriage.
I'm going to practice the coin trick in the back of the cart.
Okay.
I will make a horse that looks like Bill, but it will have ribbons in its mane.
Oh.
Oh, that's
What
cute.
colour?
Rainbow.
Of course.
Oh.
I had to ask.
Alright, so you, after conjuring
the
this
gayest horse anyone's ever seen.
this impressively
Right horse.
oversized pony, functionally, you've been clopping your way towards the city.
Don't have my coconuts. I
Yeah.
really want coconuts right now. Yeah.
As you make your way towards them, travelling at really quite a brisk pace for an apparent horse of this size and style.
Slow down a little bit.
You slow down a little when you get towards the end, towards the city.
I'm not going to go full pelt 30 miles an hour through the gate.
No.
You see, as you descend, slowly descend the plains towards the mouth of the Tretch, where it opens into the sea, you see the city again. There's a little bit of sprawl, but as seems to be a habit with Sulian cities, it's quite tightly contained for the most part within city walls. There are a few houses here and there outside of the wall's limits, but a lot of them seem to be... it seems that, presumably for town planning reasons and security, a lot of structures are kept within the high stone walls that surround it. The city itself, you can see, is bisected by the river, with a single bridge leading between the north and the south half. You can just make out the white and, in some cases, various other coloured sails of ships docked in port. There seem to be a number or an extensive series of piers, jetties in the harbour, as well as a pair of seawalls, structures that have been built out to provide a little bit of shelter against the elements and a little bit of shelter against coastal attack. And matching up to that, as a more active defence, even from here, you can just make out the relatively low but thick-walled and wide form of the Star Fort that's positioned just on a little island slightly off the edge of where the river's banks are. You would know, Corzin, from your experience with such, that this likely holds a number of cannons, primarily heavier and more powerful long guns than you would normally fit on a ship, designed to, well, frankly, fire on any ship foolish enough to try and assail the port.
Right. I'd relay this information.
Yeah. And as you mentioned this, Match comments. Yes. St. Antoine's Chateau, that one. One of the more recent ones. I believe it's only about 100 or so years old.
All right.
The thick walls are better against gunpowder.
Ah.
It's useful for defending in case, chiefly in case of Osirian gunships coming in and trying to just knock it down.
I've heard they've got quite a range on them, those gunships.
Indeed they do. Still, we've got a few ships of our own, and he gestures, and you can see, around about the seawall, there are a large number of ships. You would say maybe 20 frigates or so, you would put. Not all in like a solid line, but patrolling around the mouth and the bay. Flying, you can just make out with your sailor's eyesight the colours of the Sulian Navy.
Right.
Looks like they have the port on. Looks like they are patrolling the port. I imagine they are not too eager to let things in or out without being searched and boarded. But that is a little bit more concerning. And he nods, and you see on the south side, here and there are columns of smoke rising, a little bit thicker than you would expect from
like chimneys or whatever.
Smoke, yeah.
But we're not close enough to see what they are yet.
No, you're still like about 3 miles away or so.
Are there any?
I'm sorry. Okay, and that's on the coast.
Yes, coming from within the city.
Okay. I was just going to ask, are there any ships that we can see out in the bay that aren't Sulian?
Or with white sails with a blue trim.
Give me a perception check.
Okay.
14?
6.
19.
You think you can actually see one ship, looks like a fourth rate, or it would be, with a white sails and a blue trim, but it's actually in port.
Ah.
How do you mean?
It is docked.
Yeah.
rather.
But it would be though, wouldn't it?
Yes, but it docked rather than out in the bay.
Yeah, like because it's
okay.
anchored out in the bay,
Yeah.
but it's actually
It's
yeah.
docked.
It's actually in dock.
Yeah.
That would fit though.
I pointed it out to the rest of you.
Right, that might be the one, mightn't it?
Could be.
Well, but I think perhaps I will need to report into my superiors and find out what is going on there. Just in case, on the north side, not far from the dry docks, there's a pub I know, the Fattened Cuff.
What about it?
Oh, it's just a place you can get a drink, but if I need to, would you mind if I left you a message there?
No, that'd be fine.
Just in case things are a little more difficult here than I was expecting.
We'll check in there at some point.
He gives you a nod. Thank you.
Watch out for hags.
Yeah, watch out for hags.
Interesting. Okay.
Trust us on this one.
Don't make any bargains with anybody ever again. Just don't bother.
I mean, that's quite a sweeping statement.
Don't make any bargains with any scary old women.
I find if you know what you are doing, you can you can get away with a few bargains. I mean, that is politics. You need to make, you need to exchange favors every now and again.
Scary old grey women with scary faces and weird voices. Don't do it.
Who can also disguise themselves, so maybe just, be careful.
They can only disguise themselves as ugly people. I think. As far as if we go.
Oh, that doesn't narrow it down much.
Okay, you have a point there, fair.
Well, at least that I am not a hag then.
Pat.
Touché.
Friends. Well, and as you get closer towards the gate, you find there is a contingent of soldiers. Although some of these soldiers are wearing the navy blue of the army, confusingly, of the Assyrian army. There are a number of what look like civilians in long black cloaks. Sorry, not cloaks, coats. They have sleeves. Coats. Also carrying muskets, but with symbols of the regent around their necks, who just seem to be filling out the numbers of the guard here. You'd say there are probably 2 black coats to every soldier on this gate. And there are about a dozen soldiers just on the outside of the gate, screening traffic coming in. There are again a few refugees who are making their way in, but less than there were to the capital.
These were the guys that were seen in the last scrying vision, weren't they? The guys that looked kind of like the pious.
They were in the last town.
They're in the last town.
They were,
yeah.
you saw similarly dressed black coated figures
Yeah.
around the cathedral.
That's what I was thinking of. So yeah.
Well, I mean, we've got fake papers now. The border shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Real papers.
Yes.
I'm assuming that we're not close enough to the...
No.
Yeah. Real papers. Hello, I'm Drusilla.
I am...
Drusilla Lathalas, nice to meet you. Does it still work?
Ursha.
Yes, actually.
Ursha.
Ursha Silveraxe. I think you're Ursha.
Ursha.
You should settle on one.
Silveraxe. I'm Silveraxe.
And
Alton Copperbottom.
Kettle.
Copper Kettle, darling. Get it? Remember your fake name.
Ah.
I will bear this in mind.
If you introduce yourself as something that's not on your passport, we're going to have trouble.
Sorry, I got confused with Apple Blossom back on.
Very true.
Well, do your best to keep your story straight, eh?
Speaking of which, just again out of character, if we would have done this on the way here, would we have done a sending to Vig or whoever to find out when they're likely to be in port?
Yes,
Yeah.
you've been saying you've been routinely doing that.
Yeah.
give me a moment to check my map, and I'll tell you that.
I mean, we could have done that right before we get in if we hadn't thought of it, but
I think we would have checked in and like a couple of times. I'm not going to have been using big spells while we're on our way here.
No. So, they were picked up.
GM's doing counting on a map.
One
It's getting
moment.
very serious.
300.
Counting's happening.
800.
He's measuring it with a cocktail stick. It's very exciting.
I can't find my ruler. So
Oh.
340s. That's call that 1150, and then really a DM who prepares ahead of time would have done this already. So 1600 miles, knowing the rate of
Don't
travel.
pretend you don't prepare. You're terrifying.
how many killer Corzins are they away?
So many.
I think there are probably a few mega Corzins away.
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
I like that Corzin's a unit of measurement.
I'm sticking with this now.
It's fun.
So give me a moment. So. Right, yes. Which meant that they travel. Oh! Not far is the answer.
Ooh.
If all goes well, they should
It
arrive.
never does.
If all goes well with their journey, they've. So the last you made contact with them, the previous night, they had passed round the south tip of Halfland. After a brief stop in at Dovetail, and were continuing on towards Sul. They should arrive in Cayonne in about 2 days.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, maybe we can meet up with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely should.
Yeah. Stuff to do that before then, though.
Yeah.
Agreed.
What order do we do this in? Because I don't want to break the deal with Olga.
We get to the centre of town and you do your thing and we see if she's nearby.
All right.
Yeah.
By the way, by this point, as the day has gone on a little bit, more of that cold winter sky has broken up, and there's a lot now just sort of cold blue above with a few scattered clouds here and there.
Would the centre of town be close enough to the coast to count?
Yes, this is coastal. This
Okay.
region is coastal.
All right.
So, based on the looking from of what you can see of the town, if you were to head towards broadly the central town near where the bridge is, you would be able to cover the entire town plus a little bit extra. Within a 6 mile
I'll do
radius.
it.
Well, it's helpful that it's bigger on the coast, isn't it?
Yeah, it just seems to work better.
To get us
more
through the
comfortable.
gate, we have papers. Our story, we're visiting some friends. We heard there was some stuff going on and we wanted to check everybody was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
We've got friends on a ship who we're rendezvousing with here, so we don't have to give names of anyone who's actually here already.
That's quite nice.
And kind of true.
Yeah, we can just pretend we're meeting up with Vig and that.
Yeah.
That's it.
What's your story going to be?
Oh, the truth. I am coming to report to my commander.
Fair enough.
I mean, that's not the whole story, but it's true.
It's enough for them.
I do actually have orders to come and report. So
Yeah.
I'm just perhaps about 3 or 4 days early.
Where's he going to be? In the...
Probably would be managing things from the arsenal. That would be the most sensible location for them to have set up their command center. The arsenal is property of the army, so we have always had
I suppose the chateau's a little bit isolated, isn't it?
Well, I suppose it's always possible that the chateau could be, but only thing is, the chateau has classically always has for some time now been staffed by soldiers from the local regiments, whereas a lot of the army that have been brought in and are loyal to Fernald come from other parts of Sul. So we are mildly concerned that in the event of what I suspect to be civil unrest, they might be siding with the locals.
Oh, so you're worried about mutinies?
I'm thinking perhaps I will check in at the arsenal first,
Doesn't sound like it.
and then see whether we actually hold the chateau. This is problematic if things are
Progressing.
indeed. It is, as I said before, it is my hope that I can convince Fernald and the army to come over to the more liberal side of the new government and ensure there actually is one.
I can zap him if you like.
I can zap him now.
He looks at you. If the opportunity presents itself.
Ooh.
Bear that in mind.
Well, you know
And
where we
then
are.
breaks into a grin. I am kidding, of course. Although it would significantly enhance my career prospects.
Right, let's go.
All right then. And you, with your riding your horse.
Would Corzin have heard of Fernald before
Make
this
a history
all
check.
blowing
I
up?
wouldn't have
'Cause
done.
Yeah, make a history check.
He's essentially a privateer with Sewell, so
Yeah.
don't think so. But get this.
Yeah.
It's a 3.
Wow.
Wow! That wasn't even the 5 that you needed to have heard of him before.
God.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's not an admiral, so
Yeah. Fair.
One of the land ones.
Fair. No, I mean
You're a doctor, not a soldier, damn it.
he's been at sea for God knows how many months.
I might swap this pencil because it's a little bit rattly. Does anyone have an ordinary one?
Anyway, let's go to the gate,
sorry.
please. I'm so nervous.
You head to the gates, and you find the as before. As I said, there was about a dozen guards there. 2 to 1 complement of black coats to blue coats. You arrive. You see them turn quite a few figures away, especially with many of the refugees. But as you arrive, Matcha gets off the horse. Give me a moment. It's a little bit higher than I was expecting. Here we go. Brushes himself off. My papers. Turns them to the starts to move forwards to one of the army soldiers to hand them, and one of the black coats steps in front and says, "I will take those." Looks up at him. Hands them to the army man.
Oh.
While maintaining eye contact with the black coat. The soldier looks them through. "No, it is fine, and salute, sir. Good to see you, sir. You may wish to report to the arsenal." "Thank you. And these are with me as well." And he gestures to the 3 of you. The black coat kind of frowns. "Papers, please." And sticks his hand out. The 3 of you.
If Corzin's still on the horse at this point, can he reach the military man as well?
Yes.
Okay. He's going to take out his papers, hand it over the top of the head of the black-coated guy.
Takes them. "Yeah, it's fine. Welcome to Cayonne."
I'm going to do a motion as though I'm going to pass the papers to the black coat guy and give it to the military guy.
He's getting more and more frustrated now.
I'm going to go around the other side of the cart and just avoid the man in the black coat.
Yeah, the soldiers who you can see, like the black coats are getting more and more pissed off as a whole, but the soldiers you can see are starting to get openly amused.
He just cocks his tricorn and heads
And with a
through.
chuckle, the soldiers wade you through. "Okay, on you go. Welcome to Cayonne." The black coat who used to step out was like, "We'll be watching you."
Oh.
Sure you will.
Thank you for your concern about our safety.
And you bring your cart and horse on through the
I'm
gates.
going to smoke some opium while we're going.
Yeah, Corzin's going to turn
Not
around
addicted! Wait!
to Scamp and say, You missed a chance to say the regent loves you.
That's really good opium dice today. Hooray! Where's my fucking rubber? Help! There it is. Or a razor if you're from America, because rubber means something different over there.
You know what we meant.
You know what we meant. So you find you've entered a reasonably well-off section of town, or at least here in Cayonne the street services are still in effect because they aren't covered with sickness, rubbish, and beggars. Although, even from here, you can quite clearly see the rising form of the Gothic design of St. Deborah's Cathedral, so that may have had something to do with it as well.
Why are you laughing at St. Deborah? It does sound like a mum name.
Can I do a religion check to see if I know what St. Deborah is the saint of?
Yes, you can.
Please let it be mums.
It's carpool.
That'd be motherhood, wouldn't it? Yeah. That's 14?
Rope makers and sail makers.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Which, given the heavy maritime industry in Cayonne, is appropriate.
Strange that there wasn't like a shrine to her in Scarrell's Cove.
Well,
Might have been. I wouldn't know.
I was there for like a day, so
there was
really went into Scout's Cove
there
for that
was
long.
a different patron saint that had of I think general maritime seafaring. This just happened to be and yes, that would actually gone well given the rope industry in Scout's Cove.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I was going to say, would it have been Mannanen?
In fact, would have been Mandarin. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
remember things.
Hey. However, you do see that there are pairs of, again, more of these black coats patrolling the area, or sometimes moving in threes with 2 black coats and 1 soldier around this part.
Again, in a big city, hood up, gloves on for me.
Yeah. The
Actually, what are you doing?
I'm gonna keep the hood up, but not put the beard on.
Cool.
yeah.
Just hunch over a little bit.
Yeah.
So, do you as you head towards the first sort of main square, Matcher kind of turns to you, offers you his hand to shake for each of you, and says, "Well, it has been a pleasure."
I shake it.
Shakes your hand. I need to go report. Enjoy, Cayonne.
Best of luck.
And he gives a nod and a smile to each of you. Gives your and actually Scamp gives your hand just a little bit of a harder squeeze. Farewell, and departs on his way. So, you can broadly, yes. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go, and what do you want to do? You'll find there is a map of Cayonne that I placed, I think, on in your. Oh no, it's behind you. There we go.
Cool. Put it somewhere stupid.
It's behind you.
I was wondering where the fuck I put it. Right.
Yeah. So there's a map of Cayonne there, which loosely correlates to information that you get from asking people in the street, should you wish to.
Okay.
We could. I mean, there's a fucking circus. Just saying. That's not relevant. We need to go to the centre of town.
Well, that's pretty close. Actually.
You overhear that there's a circus, and Alistair went like, "Where's the circus?" And the president, no, that's just a round circular sort of place or square.
Well, that's
A round square.
much less interesting. A round square doesn't make any sense.
Never mind.
It's basically like Piccadilly Circus.
Right.
Well,
No monkeys.
No monkeys.
I'm sorry, Jeffrey.
If you want to, this random person who stopped. If you want monkeys, I don't know. Maybe try the docks. See if there's a ship that has rare animals.
that sounds
Thank
fun. Right.
Well-
Should we get straight into the middle and
That
get
seems
you to
like
do
a
the thing?
fairly centralised location, so yeah, let's do it.
Because we probably shouldn't go to the dock straight away.
No.
Okay. You head straight towards the bridge.
What are we gonna do with the cart?
Oh yeah.
Well, how much?
We can't put it in a fucking stable because the fucking horse will disappear.
Well, how much longer can you keep the horse up?
How long have we been riding this morning?
You've got about 20 minutes of this horse left.
20 minutes. I can make a new one, but it'll take 11 minutes, and it
it'll
doesn't
last
seem
an
worth
hour.
it.
Alright, well, we've got to find somewhere to
Yeah.
stow this cart then.
I mean, do we want the cart?
There's nothing that important on it.
It was a cart.
If we just dump it somewhere, it'll attract attention.
We don't know it's ours. I've not written Celestia Stardust, nice to meet you on the side of it or anything stupid.
I've written nothing on it, I say, rubbing out the chalk drawings.
Well, that was very restrained of you. I just...
Very strange. It
we
was
don't-
a struggle.
We don't want
It's
to...
a very boring journey.
We don't want to do anything that's going to unnecessarily advertise our presence, is my point.
Well, we could put it somewhere that looks like we're waiting for something, go around the corner, and then just walk away.
I think that's a good idea.
Fair.
Let's do that.
And if we take the horse somewhere no one else is watching, I can just get rid of it.
You can just, like,
Stick it down an
put
alleyway.
it away.
Really sinister.
That sounds like you're going to shoot it in the face to put it out of its misery.
Oh,
We'll dispose of this horse. I'm sorry, Bill, too.
There's a young child who's just like dressed in just like a little like kind of fairly upper class looking outfit, like maybe a school uniform, who is just looking up, who swaps up by, has overheard this, just looking up in horror
Yeah.
at what you're saying.
By the by, as soon as we're...
This child's not leaving.
Oh.
Here's a gold! Leave!
Make a persuasion or intimidation check, your choice.
I think they're both the same. Let's try and be persuasive. I don't know why I'm rolling 2. I picked up 2.
Oh, that's bad.
11.
Jason is doing a scared child face, just in
He's
case you're wondering what is happening. It's okay, we're horse friends. Friends of horses.
He just runs off.
Don't you want the gold? It didn't take the gold. Oh well.
A few people turn around at the sound of this screaming child running away from you.
I shrug at them like, I don't know.
kids these days.
A couple of the black coats start to walk towards you.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay. You quickly hustle on.
I guess if we go towards Leon's Bridge, that's literally right in the middle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Would it work then?
That's broadly in the centre you need to be, yeah.
Right, okay.
So let's find an alley and
Okay.
leave the horse.
For later. Yeah.
Annoyingly, this is still a fairly nice area and there aren't a lot of alleys. You'll need to, but, give me an investigation check.
Shall I do it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, just do it with advantage.
Yeah. 18.
You do, however, manage to find the back of what smells like a brewery, where it's relatively unoccupied, and leave the horse in a cart there.
Maybe they can use their cart for beer. Maybe that's the thing that they need. I don't know.
There are actually a couple of beer carts behind you as well.
Let's leave it with the beer carts. Oh, we've got an extra cart. Where's it come from?
Who knows? There's not an extra horse. Ha! Horse is gone.
Woo!
Bye, Bill, too.
You see just the horse suddenly crumbles into chalk dust.
Well, that was... I mean, I know they've done that every day, but somehow today was worse.
I think it's kind of cool, actually.
Well, I'm just glad you waited till I got off first.
Oh, that could be very funny. That's very, very funny. Anyway,
Corzin stares at you unimpressed. Like,
I give him an angelic smile.
To the bridge!
Yes, let's go to the bridge. By the way, since we have come into this town, I've been keeping an eye out for Olga, Leah, or Clara. Any
Okay,
of
give
them.
me an insight check then.
Oh, that's good. Never insightful, Jesus. 19.
actually, I think Corzin would have done as well, given the situation.
Okay, give me one as well.
Insight. Four.
There aren't really any beggars, but every now and again you'll see a kind of rough-shod looking person who will be moving quickly through these policed areas off towards the docks here on the north side. You kind of pay attention and look at how they move. You're reasonably sure none of them are all, but as best you can guess. Corzin, you're looking around, you see a tortoise-shell cat perched on a wall that just looks at you.
Definitely Olga.
It's just staring at the three of you as you pass.
She thinks...
Is this an Olga?
Olga! No, I don't do that in character, Jesus.
After a while, the cat follows you for like 5 minutes before getting bored and
Fuck
wandering
off.
I think this cat's evil. She wants us all dead.
Go on, fuck
Most
off.
cats
The cat
don't.
kind of and then leaps off the wall and goes
Do
away.
it back.
There's a thing most halfling children know. If a cat could eat you, it probably would.
Yeah, they're fucking weird. Fluffy and not enough legs. Weird.
You make your way to the bridge.
Twice as many as me.
There are actually quite a large number of, and these are an even number, a roughly even number of blackcoats and soldiers here. Although there is notably, the blackcoats are all very much on this side of the bridge, and the soldiers are waiting behind two carts, which definitely have the look of impromptu barricades, about 40 feet, about 20 feet away from the blackcoats. No one's exchanging shots. There's no signs of fire, but there's definite distance between them. And as you approach, one of the blackcoats kind of holds up a hand. Well, citizen, you should be. We must say, if you cross over the bridge, you do so at your own risk, and we cannot guarantee you will be allowed back over. There have been more reports of fighting on the south side.
Civil unrest or something else?
Civil unrest is one way to put it. Are you new to town?
We've just got here 5 minutes ago, darling.
It seems that the mayor has
How's it always mayors?
taken up with this. What is it? They're calling it in the capital this National Assembly that has decided to ignore the rulings of the king, and with all of the chaos around, General Fernald has declared martial law, but the mayor will not accept it without a letter from the king himself. Bureaucratic bullshit, if you ask me. Still, it seems that a sending came through a few days ago about a National Guard being authorized to be set up, and now people have started arming themselves and fighting against the soldiers trying to institute martial law. Right now, we've been blessed that the last day or so, the fighting has not been as out and out, but between you and me, it could be any moment that things break out afresh.
Sounds like quite a potential shitstorm.
Indeed. We are making sure that at least that shitstorm does not does not spray up onto the north side, which is under the Archbishop's protection.
We wouldn't want shit to spray on him, yeah.
Gives you
Sorry.
kind of gives you a searching look.
I'm just a dickhead. That wasn't really a deeper meaning. I just think I'm funny.
Or whatever. Still, as I say, if you head down to the south side, you're doing so at your own risk.
Which side was the ship docked on?
The ship is in fact docked on the south side.
I guess we're going over.
Yeah, I think we are. It's the only one that looked right, isn't it?
Do you want to try and do the press, the primeval awareness on this side of the bridge or the far side?
How big is this town approximately?
Yeah.
This town is it's a few miles wide, but from either side of the bridge, is wide enough for a 6 mile to encapsulate this town.
I'll do it this side before we go over then.
Okay.
Kind of kneel down and press your hand against the cobblestones on one side of the bridge. Get a couple of weird looks.
Just saying our prayers.
They shrug. seems reasonable. And again, you pulse. And immediately you get a rush of sensation. And the way it comes back to you is it's just flashes of stagnant water, creatures in the streets, rain, storm, lightning, running, hiding, everything, everything that was Barnacle Point compressed into an instant.
Oh, sweet Regent. Oh.
The Storm's Eye is here. There's a Storm's Eye here, somewhere within 6 miles.
What is it? What's wrong?
I think we've found what we're looking for.
Right, so she's here then.
You get another couple of
one of
senses
them
as
is.
well. You also sense pulsing through. I think it would be. Yep. You can sense just faintly. Just faintly. You can sense aberration.
Mm-hmm.
And there's that little sort of sulphurous tint of fiend.
Aberration. Is that what Olga would flag up as? I'm sorry, I know I've asked this question before.
For all if you've asked it before and I've not, the thing is, give me an Arcana check because I can't remember if you've asked this before, and I've told you because
it might have been off air.
Yeah. Give me an Arcana check.
Ooh,
okay, that's 19.
Given the conversations that you had with Fighty when you were preparing to go into Anwen's court, the way that she seems to be bound by rules of her own making and everything else that's come up, you would say it is most likely that she would flag up to you as Fae.
Okay.
But you're not getting Fae pings.
But you're not getting a Fae ping.
We were in the capital, though. Can't worry about that now.
Oh, I thought she didn't ping up on that spell. Am I going mad?
You've not used it while she's been within a mile of you.
Okay, cool.
So,
no, sorry,
I mean, strictly speaking, we don't know, but that's the best guess we have.
Yeah.
Right. I've been paying attention, and I don't believe you used it in Werrick's watch when she was close by, so it never pinged up.
No.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
Assuming
have
that some of this conversation has happened half in character.
Yeah.
The thing is, that Storm's Eye thing, it makes her hard to scry on, it makes her hard to detect. It might be that you detect that, but not her.
Or that it's a different one.
Well, I can definitely tell that there is one of those within 6 miles.
Okay.
Hey, no one dead though.
Oh, that's a nice change, isn't
So
it?
none of us are secretly undead.
Oh!
Where the hell is this fiend or aberration coming from, then?
Somewhere within 6 miles.
Are you a secret fiend?
Yeah, I've been a fiend this whole time.
Solve that.
Grr.
What about the aberration?
Okay, would it be an insight check to see if there is, well, anything that Corzin would know about that would account for the presence of a fiend or an aberration in this city?
There are too many options for that to come
okay.
up. There are so many options for things that could be aberrations, like a large. You know that there are things which are like just monstrous creatures, which would flag up strongly enough to go up as aberration. You know that you knew the time, like there was the time that Perseus flagged up, kind of somewhere between, like just on the verge of Fae and aberration. Like that was just enough for that to come through. You know that nightmare creatures flag up. There may be other things. It's just that sense of wrongness that is. You interpret it as a sense of wrongness in the way that you kind of get a sulphurous sense from something that's fiendish, a kind of shadowy ichor sense from something that is undead, and from something Fae, you just get a sense of things which are ancient and uncaring and mischievous.
Right.
Alright, we should get over this bridge.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is... What do we do?
Well, we go
Because
there.
if she's not here, I mean, I could go talk to her. Leah, that is.
No, because as soon as you're within...
It's within touching.
Yeah.
True.
So as soon as you're within touching, that criteria is filled. So you can go after her any time.
Oh, fuck.
You can't go near her until she's dead.
No, I really can't, can I? This is bullshit.
But we can go find the ship. We can find things out.
Yeah,
We've just got to be really careful.
I mean,
Oh god, we've got to be really careful. Regent, we've got to be really careful. Because you could just bump into her in the street and not even notice.
Oh yeah, I've been keeping an eye out, don't worry.
I haven't!
The thing is...
well, not to put too fine a point on it, but you've described what she looks like, but only you know exactly what she looks like.
Well, yeah, blonde elf isn't...
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't really narrow it down, does it?
No.
There's not that many elves
Slightly
around, though.
curly hair, if that helps. But...
All right.
eye patch now, apparently.
Good to know. We should have a look and see if there are any antiques or antiquary collectors in this city.
Yeah, we should have a look.
Okay. So, you make after receiving another warning, like again, if you go across, I cannot guarantee you'll be allowed back, but on your head be it.
I might check if it's the right ship.
Can't
Good
hurt.
to know.
Yeah.
Can't hurt. All right.
Be careful, but I'd like to know.
Don't go near it.
Yeah.
It's trading under the name the Hesperidia.
Yeah. Hesperidia, blue sail, or white sails, blue trim.
And we can always check things for you.
Yeah, maybe you two should check. Just in case.
Right, so if we go across the bridge and just follow the road up past the docks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get past the group of blackcoats, but you are stopped by one of the soldiers who puts his hand up. Halt! Who do you... He looks over your weapons, Corzin.
Mm-hmm.
Who is it you fight for?
We don't fight for anyone, we're here to see a friend.
Ourselves, mainly.
We have papers.
Papers. He looks them over. I see. Kind of waits.
Hang on, I need to look at the phrase. 1 sec.
Silver on the tray.
Silver on the tree.
He folds the papers, puts them back. You will probably want to go straight to the arsenal. When you get across the bridge, you will show those papers to the first set of guards you see to get through. Do not try and go through Moray's circus. There are radical groups, snipers, who have guns on these streets there.
Okay, we're
may
really
take
looking
shots.
to avoid the fighting at the moment, so...
We have business in the docks.
What's going
That
on in
is
the
a
docks?
difficult... The radicals are holding the docks at this time.
Brilliant.
If you
Of
need,
course they
but
are.
with your work, I see what you mean. All right. My advice to you would be get onto our side of the lines, go around Moreau's circus. Right now, there's a no man's land of sorts between Moreau's circus and Benoit Square, and gives you directions towards where Benoit Square is. Those are the 2 points which the radicals are contesting. Now, where I believe the general is making ready for a push. A new contingent of soldiers has just arrived. We have brought in an extra 10,000 men, so we should be able to make a push soon. But the area between the circus and the square is full of alleyways and such. If you want to get over into across radical lines to gather information, those would be the way. But take care, okay?
Of course.
Thank you for your help.
Gives you a nod. Waves you through.
Why is everything always so difficult?
Nothing's ever easy, is it?
Fucking hell.
Let's try and stay out of sight.
Of course the radicals are holding the fucking docks, you know what I mean?
Aren't we on the side of the radicals? Shh.
I have actually lost track of which side we're supposed to be on.
Well, the papers say we're spies for the army.
Okay.
We just started a revolution and helped the radicals. We're friends
Well,
with a man who
I know who we
knows
are.
what he does.
I know who we are in real life. I mean, what are we supposed to be?
My name's Scamp. This is Corzin.
What are we supposed to be on the passport?
The passports say we're army spies.
So
Is it
are we
out of
happy
earshot?
about the radicals, or are we
No, we're against the radicals.
against the radicals?
And
Radicals
the
are bad,
church.
and the church is also bad.
Well, we're sort of
But in
uneasy
real life,
tension.
I think we probably like the radicals. Yeah,
Some of them are just
are
money
nice.
people.
Yeah. They're all going to get themselves killed, but I do like them.
Let's draw a graph.
Yeah.
Concise political summary with Scamp.
Yeah.
So these people don't like us. These ones probably want us dead too.
You've knelt
There's
down
some
halfway along the
crossover.
bridge. You've got your chocks
That
out.
looks like a bum.
And these people, they don't
Oh
like
no! Now it's a dick and balls.
and they're attacking these people.
Oh, I can't tell you what that is because you're a child, and I don't know if you know how that works yet.
I feel it's only fair that we have to put a picture of that on
I
the
will
show
take
notes.
a picture of it so that you can see it.
Is that going to be too explicit to go on Twitter?
I hope not. I mean, it's just some fucking circles
Yeah.
when it comes down to it.
Might be
isn't
too
it?
explicit for Tumblr there.
It'd probably flag up on their little algorithm, wouldn't it? Their little tits and balls algorithm.
It's alright, there's no female presenting nipples.
No, it's fine. So what I've gleaned from this diagram is that we're finally in the city where Leah is, and we're sat on the floor drawing dicks. And I think probably I have to just kill myself. I think this is probably the end, really.
Let's try and move quietly and unobtrusively.
Yeah, unobtrusively and quietly through the fucking revolution.
At
Why
least-
now?
At least we didn't start this one.
True.
People are not going to be looking for us. That gives us
I mean,
the
somebody's
advantage.
looking for us. Obviously. Fucking Olga's looking for us.
Yeah, but hopefully Olga is the only person who's looking for us. Neither the army nor the revolutionaries have any stake in what we're doing right now.
True.
Both those things are true. Right, the fuck do we do?
Let's head towards the docks really quietly.
And carefully, and take the route that he said through the no man's bit.
Yeah.
You head across the bridge, and a very confused set of sentries take the papers and gesture you hurriedly towards the western side of things, and not towards Moreau's Circus, where you pass by another checkpoint. But as soon as you get that, you are able to move along the route of the streets that he's suggested to you. There are a lot of soldiers here. There aren't that many. Again, not that many beggars or so on. People are mostly, if there are residents here, they are keeping indoors. And there are groups of soldiers patrolling, but you can see other groups are just like there are pubs and eateries which are just packed with soldiers, either on break or we've taken it over, billeting there.
Again, I'm keeping an eye out for those 3 people.
Yeah, there are a lot of soldiers here. And you can see runners kind of moving quickly backwards between contingents.
Anytime we're somewhere moderately quiet, I would like to cast Mage Armor.
Okay, you find a place which is, duck into one of the side streets, which is not currently being patrolled by soldiers, and sort of tie a bit of leather to your horn, and kind of reaching under your hood to do so, and making your way around. Then you find yourself at the edge of the complex series of alleyways that begin to cross this strange no man's land. There are still patrols, but they're keeping to the main thoroughfare that leads towards Benoit Square, and not really going into the ambush-heavy, dark side streets. But it sounds like that's where you're planning to go.
Yeah. Stealthily.
Very
I'd like
stealthily.
stealth and perception checks from everyone.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm assuming that I've been clever enough to wear my less ridiculous clothes.
Oh yeah.
So stealth.
Perception.
Natural 20 on the stealth.
I'm distracted by being super stealthy and see fuck all.
14 on stealth.
22 on stealth.
And
7 on the perception.
a 10 on perception.
A 1.
Fucking hell.
So
really
we cannot
stealthy,
be
but I see
seen.
nothing.
We also cannot see.
Yeah. We're creeping around, walking into fucking walls by the sounds of
So
things.
14, 10 and 1 on perception, 20, 14 and 22
Scooby doing it, basically.
on stealth.
I'm picturing like Kronk in The Emperor's New Groove.
Okay.
Although he's being seen by everyone and also not seeing anything, so we're doing slightly better than him.
Yeah. You begin making your way through the streets, keeping an eye out, looking for any signs of the rebels that you've been warned about. You make your Scamp with your kind of innate sense towards cities. You're able to move quickly, keeping a sense of what direction you need to travel to get behind rebel lines. Nevertheless, it is a bit of a surprise when you hear the sound of 2 sets of clicks, and you look and realise that from ahead of you and from one of the sides, and from the side as you reach a sort of point where an alleyway forms a pair of alleyways form a T, there are 2 halflings pointing carbines at you, just in ordinary, plain sort of dock workers' clothes.
Hello.
One of them, the one up ahead, squints. She looks you up and down. So who are you supposed to be?
My name's Scamp.
And what are you doing skulking around, you little spy?
That's rude. That's very rude. Looking for a boat.
A likely story.
Yes!
Roll a deception check.
Technically, it's not a lie.
Yeah, I mean, roll.
No, I'm happy to do deception.
Okay.
I'm better at it. That's a 12.
Face up and down. Weapons on the floor, each of you.
I don't have any weapons. I'm a child.
Looks up and down at the dwarf.
I don't have the beard on today.
Oh, have you not had the beard? Did
No,
you take
just-
the beard
it's
off?
just the hood.
Oh, it's just the hood. Okay.
We're really not looking for any trouble. We're just looking for somebody at the docks.
Oh yeah.
That's all it is. We're not involved in whatever's happening here. We just want to see if somebody's okay.
Then you won't mind giving up your weapons.
Well, I mean, when people are pointing carbines at me, yes, I do mind being weaponless, thank you. That is quite up. Have you seen the fucking city at the moment? Would you want to be walking around without any weapons?
These are
Fuck
personal
off.
protection. Nothing more.
So it's the walking armory.
You want to try it? Seriously, these are personal protection only.
Make an intimidation check.
Okay. 18.
You kind of look to each other.
What's your name?
You know? You say you're with, they kind of take a step or two back. I don't think that matters. What matters is who we fight for, and we fight for the people. Who do you fight for?
Ourselves.
Mostly, although...
I'd mostly like to stay alive. That's kind of all I give a shit
If
about.
our
at
fight
the
was
moment.
with you, we would have come in firing. We didn't.
They sort of exchange a glance. Yeah, shit. Okay. Just keep out of our way. And they begin sort of awkwardly they begin backing away slowly down the street.
Everyone here is really rude.
This is going to get really annoying, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Do you think if I set a bunch of stuff on fire, people would leave us alone?
No.
That's
That'd be
probably
very bad.
not the best idea.
I was considering just telling them what to do.
No, seriously, we're near the docks.
particular.
That's an immediate execution offence.
Oh.
Arson in dockyards is serious business.
Don't get executed. We'll have to save you, and just please don't.
To be honest, I think being me is probably executionable.
Maybe people are shit. It's all right. I'll execute them. Don't worry.
With fire!
With song.
You continue making your way through. Yeah, the next group don't get a natural 17 on their perception check. So...
Even so, that's pretty perceptive. It's 17, to get to 22, that's pretty good.
no, it's the 14.
There
was more the issue.
Oh, I could have stayed hidden then.
Yeah. Good point. They probably wouldn't have seen you. Well, I'll remember that for next time. So, nevertheless, you managed to make your way through. Hearing the next set of the pass, you kind of hold back, wait for another set of gorillas to pass by.
Gorillas?
Guerrillas.
Oh.
Although there's a moment where Jeffrey's like, And you hear in your head, shh.
Aww.
Do you just have a thing about apes?
And you make your way through the complex set of alleyways to the next main street. And this time, almost in a mirror, there are people, groups of people, now in just plain clothes, in whatever heavy clothes they can against the winter, carrying weapons, moving in rough patrols. But this side of the city is much more packed. All of those refugees that got turned away, the ones that made their way in, they're here. People are piled into streets, into side streets, piled into houses, taking shelter. Not as many as there were in Alisant, but you do see at least one. You see at one point there is a group of these radical soldiers, which includes one fellow in a kind of battered old actual army uniform, but you can see he's leaning on a crutch. Has several. He's not missing the leg, but you can tell he's really not using one of them. He's definitely favouring the other. Yeah. And he's just got, he's got a flintlock rather than a carbine, rather than a musket for his part. And there's a lot of people. A lot of the people around here, judging from their builds, the kind of clothes they're wearing, there's a lot of people who are just dock workers who've picked up whatever weapons they can.
Right.
Give me a perception check, though, as you're working your way towards the docks.
Off the table.
10.
8.
13.
Cool. You don't notice anything else. You make your way out towards the docks themselves, where you see there is the docks, a set of wooden jetties that stretch out. There are a large number of ships and many lesser small boats that are docked here, the local fishing fleet, presumably to some degree, as well as merchant ships. No obvious warships, although there are a couple of ships like the blue trimmed white sailed ship that you see at the far end of the docks, the Hesperidia, which bear quite a few cannons for what's ostensibly a trade ship. Looking at the ports, though, not all of them are rolled out. They look more like a heavily armed trade ship rather than, say, a pirate ship.
But it's definitely the Hesperidia.
You can just see the name written on the side.
Okay.
Well, that answers that.
Well, that's it then.
And it's at this point that you hear a voice call out from behind you. Corzin? Corzin Horhace?
I turn around.
There is a quite unexpected figure there. He is... don't have a good description, so I'll just do it from memory. A little bit taller than Corzin, halfling, brown hair, blue eyes, kind of like a gash which is scabbed over along the side of his jaw. His sleeves are rolled up. There's a long graze, or maybe like a deep cut that's again scabbed over on his left arm. He is wearing what looks like clothes made from seal skins, mixed against the cold, mixed in with his old sailor's clothes. He has a pair of blunderbusses in holsters at his hip, what looks like just like a harpoon type spear strapped to his back. It's Alton Appleblossom.
Alton?
How?
Oh, the Regents! Someone survived!
How the fuck are you alive?
How did you get
And
here?
you as well! And
I'm an adult dwarf with no beard.
Corzin just puts a finger to his lips and says, "Not here." And then we Is there a...
there's a sailor's bar just here. Fuck
it, let's go to the pub. Great.
Yeah. You quickly scurry into the Rusty Spoon, which is a packed sailor's dive.
Anyone we recognise?
Give me a perception check.
God.
Yeah.
5.
10 again.
Perception 16.
No one you recognise, Corzin, but in the far corner, sitting in a booth, within a packed booth, talking to several other sailors, you do spot a blonde high elf.
Oh God!
With long, slightly curly hair, one blue eye, one eye patch. In sailors, in sort of a rough sailor's shirt and heavy coat against the cold. They do not seem to.
I haven't seen this.
I don't see anyone. Are we good in here?
All right. I first turn to Scamp, point out who I've seen.
We need to leave.
And
What is it?
So there's an elf in here. We should leave now.
Where is she?
I indicate over towards the corner.
Look over very carefully.
I'm going to just hold
She doesn't
Celestia's
seem to have
arm.
noticed you.
Is it her?
It's her.
Oh shit!
Go back outside. Go back
Yeah,
outside
we gotta
now.
go.
Oh, this is not a good place.
No.
We'll get to the next place over. There's one further down the street. Alton quickly brings you over to the Whaler's Surprise, which has a.
Listen, did you pull that out your ass? That's hilarious.
The Whaler's Surprise.
It has a picture of a fellow stood in like a little rowing boat with a harpoon raised. But around him, a whale, like a big whale's jaws, are just rising up to eat him, but like boat and all. This one is kind of another dive, really, but this one, someone, the proprietor has it just burns some sort of incense to try and drive out the smell of fish from the fishmongers either side. Alton says, "Anyone in here that's a problem?" And
Let's have a look.
it's a good perception check.
Oh, 18.
I'm gonna make it with disadvantage because I'm not paying attention.
23.
12.
No. No. There's actually no one here that you recognise.
Okay.
This
I'm sorry, Alton, long story, but I would imagine an even longer story is how the hell did you get here?
right. Let's kind of muscles the way towards the
I'm
bar.
gonna order something really strong.
Yeah. She said, "Am I doing another of those for me? Queen's a little bit short at the moment."
Yeah, I'll spot you. Don't worry.
Get some.
I mean, fucking out. You've lived this long. You deserve a drink.
You get a couple of just brandy tops, basically. Call it 2 silvers.
Brilliant. Anyone else?
Milk, please.
Pausing.
Rum.
Cracking.
Collectively, like like 2 silvers and 3 coppers. Blossom takes it and sort of knocks back about half of it. I'll say, I was clinging to a piece of driftwood. I washed up on this little rock just full of walruses. I had to fight the bastards off for 3 days before a whaling ship.
What's a walrus?
It's kind of like a big seal, but with really long teeth.
Sounds like the worst thing ever.
Yeah, the teeth are about as long as we are.
Yeah,
That's just
they're huge.
himself and Corzin.
People say the Underdark's fucking terrifying, but it doesn't seem much better up here. That sounds like the worst thing ever.
I thought it was a kind
The
of
thing is,
duck.
people your size can outrun them.
It's a bit higher for us. Anyway, I was fighting off walruses for 3 days, and then the whaler, these Meadmere's whalers saw me. They rescued me, and they went down to far side of Meadmere. I got some passage on a ship towards Halfland. Ran into a bit of trouble with law there. Had to skip town quickly, and wound up here thinking, I've never actually been to the country we were supposed to be fighting as a privateer for. Thought I'd see the place, and then got into town.
Great timing.
Oh yeah, didn't quite
Things are
expect
kicking
this.
off. Yeah.
I got into town. I got into town a week ago.
What ship did you come in on?
I think it was the Puffin's Pride.
Okay.
Right.
That is a rubbish name.
That's a really rubbish name.
Shrugs. I just worked
They can't all be winners.
Just worked to a place in the next passage in the next place that wasn't, looking to lock me up or stretch my neck.
They forgot that the war's over in Halfland, had they?
Are puffins like penguins?
I've never actually seen a pet.
Aren't they like a kind of sheep?
No, they're
Oh,
a sort
maybe.
of bird.
What kind
A sheep
of bird?
bird?
No,
I've heard
actually, I'm going to roll a nature check for him here, because...
Are those a thing? They're like they have them over in can't think.
With a 17, how much would Corzin know about puffins?
You know enough to accurately describe a puffin,
Yeah.
which is more than Jason does.
It's a small bird, like passing resemblance to what I've seen penguins, but no, they can the puffins can actually fly for a start.
Oh, right. Less shit than penguins, then.
Well, it depends on what
Why
you...
the fuck would you want a bird that couldn't fly? Load of shit. The point of birds is flying. Why bother having wings?
I've heard that they're very, very quick and nimble.
Anyway,
underwater. But
how are you
anyway,
alive?
As I said,
got picked up?
I got picked up. I made my way to Halfland.
You made very good time.
Halfland, and a week ago I got here, and then a bloody war broke out.
I haven't seen any hags, have you, while you've been here?
I mean, I've seen some pretty bad lookers, but I wouldn't call them hags.
Okay.
Just thought it was worth asking,
Have you heard from anyone else?
You're the first people I thought. So I thought I was the only survivor.
No, Vig survived, of course.
Well, where's he? Have you? Did you meet? Did you meet
Coming
up with him?
here. He'll be here in 2 days.
Oh,
Ish.
by the reason.
I mean, all going
We
well.
and
unless
some
there
of
are
the
any
other
storms.
survivors were picked up by
Assuming
another
they
ship
can
that's
get
on their way here.
In? Are they letting ships in?
Not rightly, no.
Oh, we should tell them.
They're trying to. A lot of the any ships that's had any martial capacity, they've been largely boarding. I mean, trading ships are less of a problem, but even so, they're maintaining a blockade. If they're, I mean, fact is, more I'm just not having a choice than anything. I ended up here on this side of the docks. This bloody war broke out, and I've more or less been conscripted into fighting for these radicals. So they're calling them. I mean, they're calling themselves revolutionaries. The mayor is the mayor's giving bread and soup to anyone who'll lift a gun.
And so you're lifting too.
I mean, if you're starving.
I like 2 loaves if I can get them.
Corzin nods knowingly. It's a halfling thing.
What's the
What about you? How did you get out?
Long story.
We got out the long way round. Or, well...
Well, we took a shortcut at one point, actually.
We had to go cross-country.
Never eat elk. It's
Elk
rubbish.
is disgusting. We ended up in the fucking forest for days, and it was elk, and it was... we ate elk for a really long time. I can only just shit properly now.
I'm surprised. I'm amazed you actually managed to get out of the forest. Of Meadmere.
We had help.
We took a shortcut.
Yeah, our gnomish friend survived, and he was able
Gnomes
to...
are good at forests.
Yeah,
Oh, the passenger.
yeah.
Yeah, fighting.
The tailor.
Scissors.
Yeah. You stole my drink.
He
That
does
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. But it's quite helpful in a survival situation, it turns out.
Well, I'm glad to hear that at least.
Yeah.
I hope he's alright.
He can take care of himself.
Yeah, he'll probably be fine.
City was somewhat burning.
The city was a little bit burning, yeah.
It's been
A lot of
rough,
bollocks going
rough
going
time.
down in Alisont.
Yeah.
Oh,
I wouldn't recommend going there.
right.
Yeah, I'd stay out. It looks really bad. They'd just taken over the prison when we'd left.
Honestly, at this point, I'm just looking for a ship I can actually get work on that's leaving all of this mess.
I mean, I'm sure if Vig ends up with another one,
If he can get
be
in
welcome.
here.
If he can get in, we should warn him,
Yeah.
Agreed, yes.
Before bed.
Yeah,
But they,
before bed if I don't do anything big, we should tell him.
I'd
rather not be without my big stuff, just in case we need it, because this looks fucked.
Yeah, we don't want them...
Sorry, magic, darling.
We don't want them sailing into a situation where they could be fired upon.
I mean, from all the stories I heard the crew tell about you three, if there's anyone who's likely to get through what might be about to come to break down around here, sounds like it'd be you.
You know, I've always thought I'd quite like to be the person that people told stories about, but now I'm not so
We
sure.
broke someone out of prison.
That did happen. Yeah.
Wow.
It was great.
Got a prison called the Great Bastard
What's
over in
that about that
Alisont.
place?
It fell.
It did. It's
But
been
we didn't
taken
do that. We just broke someone out.
Okay, 'cause
Yeah, that bit
sounded
wasn't
like
us.
like you just...
No, we
took
just
a
persuaded
castle.
people to let people out. It was amazing.
It was very funny.
Right.
By the skin of our teeth, mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were nearly in there. That would not have been fun.
No. Well,
That's the thing about prisons. They're not too hard to get into, much harder to get out from.
well,
I
that's
didn't
sort of the
like the
design.
manacles.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't comfortable.
But do you have a ship that you've signed on with?
No, not right now. First I can, but right now nothing's getting in or out, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we've
I mean,
got...
you're quite good at staying alive, darling, apparently.
Yeah, it turns out it's a skill. Who'd have thought? But I guess I've had to practice with it my whole life, so... You know?
Corzin just sort of knowingly looks at the other two. And,
There's that old halfling saying, you know? But, anyway.
so luck of the halfling. Hey. Now, we have business here, but,
Well, if we hear from Vig, we'll keep you updated.
No, do.
Where are you staying?
I mean, pretty much wherever I can. There's kind of rolling barracks that near City Hall that the mayor's set up. Basically, wherever they can put us up for the night.
Okay.
A lot of people are signed up. We're sleeping in shifts to make sure we can always keep someone ready.
Good idea.
Never know when those bastards in the army are gonna.
Show up.
Indeed. I
Well,
hear bad
I mean-
things.
There are a few people still alive off the ship, if you want to know which ones. I can...
Yeah.
They're about... I mean, we didn't get a lot of information, because, well, frankly, sending spells, it's, you know, not that many words. But Wheels and Salts are alive. Solder's dead, I'm sorry.
Ah, shit. Solder.
And 26 others. We don't know who else, but maybe
I
some
feel
people
bad
that you
about
know.
that. I always kind of hated her, but, you know, I didn't wish her dead.
But you never know. There might be more. You're alive.
Yeah.
you
I
won't
mean,
count
those are the ones
as
that we know
far.
about that were camped out in a cave for a few
That's the
days before
point.
they got rescued.
Where you ended up, were you able to get any sort of bearing on where the Canard ended up?
Yes. I did see it. It was the day before the... it was 2 days later, before the ship that got me, the whalers found me. I saw a set of sails heading on westward toward Osiria. I think it was them.
They'd have had to have been limping what we did to them, but...
Oh, I don't know. I think they could have got back on their feet pretty quick.
Well, they'd have travelled faster than a whaling boat anyway, so if they'd gotten all they'd need to do is get as far as Halfland and they'd be able to pull in for repairs. I know. Now it's probably out somewhere.
Well, can't be helped now, but...
And I felt a bit sorry for those poor sods on the Shelley Louise. Not that sorry, they were fired on us, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, but being fired on by our own ship is bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. If by any chance we were to cross paths with anyone from the Canard, that's useful information to know.
Suppose so.
Because I'm sure that whoever their superiors were would not be at all happy to know that they had fired on their own men.
They were being run by the heir to the throne. They can do whatever they like.
Well, that high politics was a bit above me, but, I mean, also that's news to me. Wait, what?
Yeah, I think Wasn't their captain important? I don't really know.
I mean,
He wanted us to
I know there
surrender
was
the
that.
Duchess.
There was that. Wait, she was a duchess? Is that why that assassin came in and tried to
darling,
shoot
she
me?
was a duchess. I think we can probably
Yeah.
tell you now. I mean, they just told the officers at the time, but she was a fucking duchess.
Yeah.
Regent's tits.
That was like her brother's agent or something.
And then her brother came, or a cousin or something, came to finish the job. And it's a whole mess where we just wanted to get out of it quick.
If
What it feels like today, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been quite the 5 minutes, to be honest.
I mean, the good news, the one good news for us at least is, kind of gestures up across the dock to the Star Fort. At least we're holding that. If nothing else, if it comes to it, we can. I hate the thought of it, but if they get to the docks, we can kind of turn some of the cannons on them.
Yeah.
The ships are a bit far out from
We
the.
really should warn Vig.
Of course, it's a star fort, so they can shoot in any direction.
The ships are a bit far out for the fort to get on purpose,
Mm.
but they've got enough of a blockade to stop ships coming in and out reliably.
Vig's far enough, we don't have to worry till tonight.
Mm.
Yeah.
But we do, if we can, need to tell him.
Yeah, we should leave it till tonight, though, just in case. Because
It's currently late morning. There's a few that the sky is kind of again quite blue, but there's like more and more clouds coming in, and just there's, every now and again the sun, which was quite clear, is getting occluded by them.
Alton, this is a shot in the dark, but have you had, or have you, in the time you've been here, have you heard about any traders in antiquities or rare artifacts or such like?
or even just weird magic stuff happening.
You know, now that I think about it, I mean, I've not met the man. I've not met the man, but there is actually a half. I was talking to some of the halfling locals, picking up the local scuttlebutt, and there is one fellow, Destin. I think his name was Destin Sukolin.
Destin who?
Destin Sukolin.
Oh.
And he's a rich heir type affair. Comes from a long family of money. Might have something to do with shipping, I don't know. And apparently he used to collect all sorts of art and stuff, and every now and again he'd show them people he liked, the halfling community around his house. Not actually, well, back in the old days, apparently he got a bit reclusive, said some things that maybe shouldn't have been said to the extended family.
How
few
that
too
goes.
many drinks, words to the wrong people, and kind of just been a shutting in his house for the last few years. Barely has food ordered, has servants come and bring him food, that sort of thing. I think, between you and me, I think there was a man involved.
Right, you are.
And, well, whether it's a broken heart or family relations or whatever, folk haven't really seen him in a long time. But supposedly he's still got all those, art pieces, and from what I hear, a fair bit of security to stop wayward thieves coming for him.
All the more necessary these days, I would imagine.
Well,
A lot of people are hungry.
indeed. No, I mean, if he's got I think he lives somewhere up in the north side, near the cathedral. But more than that, I couldn't say. They're not really left the docks.
All right, well,
Not
that's
really been able to.
that's useful information, at least for now. So, are you bound to someone, reporting to them?
Oh, yeah, there's a lady who I go and talk to, and she reports to the mayor, and but right now I'm just basically on break. I need to be back this afternoon.
You haven't been in contact with any of the crew of the Hesperidia, have you?
Hesperidia. That's the blue sailed one, right?
That one.
That's
yeah.
right.
I've thrown dice with a couple of them.
Yeah. Blonde elf.
Oh yeah, there is an elf in that crew. Got an eye patch.
Yeah, that one.
Nah.
Fair enough.
Do you know what they are trading in?
Well, between you and me, from the way they're kitted out, I think they're actually privateer. Probably. There's a lot of gun ports without guns in them, but I haven't seen a lot of that much cargo come out. And when they came in, they were, from what I hear, they were a bit shut up. They've spent some time in dry dock and were taking on supplies before the whole blockade started, and not really been able to leave since. Like a lot of the ships here, the crew are basically sitting on their asses, gambling what they can.
So someone gave them some trouble out there. Interesting.
Well, not surprising. We got into trouble.
Well, I mean,
true.
they were definitely in trouble at one point, if you remember I gesture too. My eye is gesturing an iPad.
Yeah. I wonder who.
Well, he raises his brandy top. Here's to, I don't really know what to toast.
To surviving.
To surviving. To regrets.
To regret.
Clink. Takes a sip. Knocks back the rest of the brandy.
2 regrets indeed.
Well, thanks for the drink.
Anytime.
Let us know where your hold up, so we can.
Somewhere. I'll be somewhere around City Hall. Kind of points. Just go until you get to the street, the bridge that leads towards the chateau, and then go the opposite way, and that'll take you straight to the square where City Hall is. Speaking of which, actually, it's getting pretty close to noon, so I suppose I should actually go and report in.
Look after yourself.
We'll let
Good
you know.
luck.
We'll let you know if we hear any more from Vig.
Claps you on the shoulder. So that half and luck stays true, eh? And gives you a nod and smile, and walks on his way.
Well, that's heartening.
Yeah.
He goes and reaches across and just puts his hand on Celestia and says, "I'm so sorry."
Thanks.
What do we do?
She's literally across the road.
I know. Do you want one of us to take a message?
Then what do we do? I mean, I could write her a letter and say...
I can't come near you because evil magics.
I mean, if we could send a message and get her to agree to it, I could talk to her from the opposite end of the room. It's within touching distance, so long as she knew she couldn't come near me. I'd have to be very clear.
There are risks in that, though.
Yeah. There are also risks in her not knowing what's happening.
No, she's got to know, but if something went horribly wrong and somehow you got into touching distance, we can then never leave her side until Olga is dead.
She'd fucking murder me. I mean, Leah, not Olga.
Well, they were both. But
I mean, you know we're better than we.
But
You know we're better than we do. How likely is she to believe us if we tell her those truths?
I have no fucking idea, you know?
I can be quite persuasive. Sometimes.
I mean, you are adorable. Fucking bollocking hell.
Maybe a letter?
What do I write in that fucking
I have
letter?
no idea.
You said before that.
If I was her, I'd rip it up.
We don't have to say who it's from until she's...
She'll know my writing. She will know my writing, I assure you.
What are we doing here? If Olga's not here, all we're doing is putting her in danger.
But also, the thing is, if Leah's here, Olga will probably be here at some point. She's looking for us or Leah. We can't leave either.
Well, for now, it seems like the only thing we can do is try and keep an eye on her from a distance. And
I just wonder if it's worth telling her to keep an eye out.
Yeah. Give her a warning. Don't make deals with people. Check she hasn't made a deal with anyone.
Oh, fuck. Don't even talk about that. I mean, she can't have done, because Olga can't go near her until I do.
What about Clara?
But one of the crew could have done. Clara.
We have to talk to her. We can't not know.
she knows you, she doesn't know us. Can we speak to her, not letting on that we know you?
I don't know that that'll help. We'll just be the weirdos asking questions in a war zone full of spies.
I think maybe we've got to set it up so I can talk to her from the other end of a room.
Alright, what room and
I
where?
don't.
They make rope here.
I can't see anything. What?
Rope factories are really long. Like, really long.
You know, you've been into one.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is going to be so... Just socially, I need a second here. Shouting at each other from the end of a rope factory. Fucking hell.
Not quite the reunion you were hoping for.
But maybe
I'm
if
sure.
there's some sort of machine in between us, it might actually be good to have a barrier. We need to set this up, don't we? We need to warn her.
Write a letter.
God, as if I've caused her more bullshit. Fucking...
You said before that you were the reason, broadly speaking, that she ended up on that ship.
Broadly about it, darling.
Were you trying to keep her safe?
In a manner of speaking. Yes.
I can't even imagine what that must have been like. But know this. If I thought that the only way to keep Molly or little Corzin safe was to cart them off on a slave ship, that's what I would have done.
Right. Is it best to send a letter, or should one of you just go and explain it?
I think both. Write a letter. Then we'll persuade... One of us can try and persuade her to read it.
You are quite non-threatening.
Yes.
And she's not racist, I can tell you that.
Alright.
It's a start.
Yeah. Like, aggressively not racist, actually.
Well,
Write your letter.
Oh, fucking shit, out of character.
Yeah.
Jesus. Right. Put on the back of a map.
Corzin,
I'm not writing it in my notebook.
Can you keep an eye on the pub and make sure she doesn't leave?
I need help.
alright. Yeah. Corzin will nod and go. Keep an eye.
Corzin, you stand guard while Celestia takes pen and paper and begins writing what is probably one of the hardest letters of her life. And as for the contents of that letter, we'll find that out after the break. We'll return after these, no doubt important, messages.
The Steamrollers Adventure Podcast is an actual play steampunk comedy adventure role-playing game podcast. Season 1, The Defectors.
He's gone, and another guy appears in his place.
Oh!
You gonna bop him?
Yeah!
All right.
Oh, God. So I was standing behind him.
Adrian was standing, she looks at you, and she goes, I was going to say hi.
Season 2, The Principal Engine.
Hey, you got the girl. Give me the horse.
She's 14.
Okay. Yeah, I did. Well, my horse is 5. What do you want?
Season 3, The Great War.
My name's Randall, Private Randall Doe, the ball gunner, but I'm also the engineer.
Good to see somebody who's working on fixing this ship. Brad's gonna yell from the inside. Think it looks bad on the outside. I love this crew, I just gotta say.
Find the show at steamrollersadventurepodcast.libsyn.com, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and your RSS player of choice. Find out more about the show at rigstories.com.
Alton Appleblossom here. Gotta say, I'm very glad to be off that island. 3 days fighting off walruses. But you know what kept me sane during all of that? Liking and subscribing to Flintlocks and Fireballs. I even used a walrus tusk to rate it and leave a review on iTunes. Sure wish someone could have bought me a coffee, but I'm sure that everything's smooth sailing for Appleblossom from here. Welcome back. We're still in the pub. So, Celestia, you've taken the better part of 5-10 minutes to draft the best letter you can.
Oh, God.
You fold it, and, what do you do next? Scamp is with you, Corzin is off, keeping around Leia.
I fold it up. Right layer on the outside of it. Well, I'm done.
Okay. Is there anything you want me to say? Or us to say? Is it me? Is it Corzin? What are we doing here?
Corzin will have gone and...
Yeah, you're not here. You're quite good at talking to people, aren't you?
I am. Is there anything that would be absolutely terrible that I could say? A true thing?
Maybe just don't mention slavery.
Yeah, but I owe a certain hag some truths.
Oh, yeah.
I really don't want to screw this up.
I can't think of anything that bad. I mean, I'd rather explain everything to her in person. But...
I can't think of anything too bad, but...
I mean, you don't know much of what happened between us.
No. It's not my business, really. If you don't want to talk about it.
You're very sweet.
I guess you should probably stay here.
Yeah, I'll stay here.
I'll take Corzin in with me.
Yeah, maybe both of you go. Won't hurt.
If you see a hag, scream.
I'll do ascending. That'll probably be more sensible.
Yeah.
That'll probably help a bit more.
Maybe.
Okay. You head out the road. Corzin, you've been just kind of just leaning against the wall, not far from the outside the pub, keeping an eye on things. Leah and her crewmates are still sort of drinking, talking at the bar. As kind of after a bit of work, a song has started to pick up, and you've kind of, it's one that you've heard a couple of times lately in some of the. Well, actually, it might be the first time you've heard this, and you hear several of the. As the verse comes to a chorus, some of the crew at Leah's table start to join in. It's going to go like do 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 do. So I called out to the king, will you save your people? Called out to the church, will you save the poor? I called out to the army, will your men protect us? Call to anyone that can get us through. And kind of a lot of the club joins in. But when no one is coming, we're all on our own. The king's doing nothing, sat on his throne. The church cannot save us, the army's corrupt. There's no one here but us, it's time to rise up. And someone continues on with the main verse.
Are Leah and her companions joining in with it?
Leah herself doesn't, but several of the sailors with her do.
Okay.
And as they're kind of going through, as the song kind of reaches its end, you see Scamp arrive with the letter.
Got a letter.
Right.
Shall I go by myself? Is that a little less... You are very heavily armed.
Fair point.
I'll
follow you at a distance.
Thank you. I feel a bit safer that way.
Yeah. In the time I've been observing her, would I have gleaned any insight into what the relationship between her and the other sailors are that she's with? Like, is she their superior? Are they hers?
Roll an insight check.
Seven.
Possible, but they seem all quite chummy with each other.
All right. It's not like officers and men fraternising then. Alright, well.
Okay.
What did Celestia want you to do? Just hand it over?
I don't know. I guess I've got to try and get her to agree to read it first. Otherwise, it's just, by the sound of it, it's going to end up in the fire.
Alright. Well.
This is important.
Yeah, it is. You go, I've got your back, but is there anything you want me to be doing if things go south?
I can't think of anything that would help. If you see a hag, scream.
If I see a hag, I'm going to shoot to kill.
Okay, sometimes we're not good at judging things. Maybe don't kill a stranger.
Trust me.
Okay, I do. Okay, I'm gonna go up to Leah's table.
Okay, you fight your way through the press of sailors.
I'm going to try and get as close to them that I can overhear what they're saying, but not like.
Give me a stealth check.
Okay. I don't make noise.
This is true. So it wouldn't make a difference though, because there's so much background noise.
Yeah.
This is more about just remaining unobtrusive.
8. God damn it.
You trip over a cat, weaving its way.
Blasted thing!
And you get caught up.
Is it the same cat?
It is indeed a tortoiseshell cat.
I used to have a tortoiseshell cat in real life. Not a
She's following
Celestia,
us.
obviously.
Alright, no. Like, if it's the same cat, that's weird.
I mean, it's a tortoiseshell cat.
Okay.
Like, it could be the same cat. I mean, make an insight check.
Yeah, no, is it the same cat?
Yes, please. Anything to delay this moment.
Oh god, you're rolling badly. Fucking hell.
7.
It's the same cat.
It's a cat.
Okay. Right,
It's a tortoiseshell.
I feel like we're having a chair moment.
You
Crit Roll fans will know what we're
nevertheless,
talking about.
you stumble. It causes you to stumble into someone else who, while they don't pick a fight with you, is like, "Oh, wait, you starting."
Corzin just mutely shakes his head, like, really?
Yeah, I thought so. It's kind of blocks your way for a bit, just out of spite. But it does cause you to become a little bit separated from Scamp.
Hang on, is the person also who's saying that also a halfling?
Yeah, he's got 2 inches on you.
I'm just gonna try and go around him.
Yeah, no. He's being a prick. But regardless, it delays you for a little bit. So Scamp, you're not quite able to hear what comes next. Scamp, you push your way through the press of soldiers and sailors as well. It's kind of mixed between sailors and soldiers, and by soldiers I mean like dock workers who have weapons.
Yeah.
Until you reach the corner booth, where a number of we're about 5 sailors, 2 halflings, 3 humans, are gathered around, pressed into the booth with the blonde, curly-haired form of Liadon, eye patch, heavy coat, nice boots actually. Like knee boots. And seeing you arrive, you're just hooded, aren't you?
Yeah, but quite heavily hooded.
Yeah, quite heavily hooded.
It's a good hood that people don't look. I mean, it's the cloak that people don't look at me.
Yeah. She kind of glances up, and it actually takes a few moments before anyone notices you.
Is she on the end, or
she's on the end?
Okay.
One of the halflings goes, "Can we help you?"
Is one of you Leah?
Leah looks at yes, who's asking?
Could I have a word with you, please? It's important.
I mean, I'm here. Talk away.
I've got a letter for you. And it's from someone you might not want to hear from, but it's important. What's in it's important.
You see her kind of, there's a slight smile, kind of a perpetual sadness to her eyes, but as you talk, you see that smile drain away. I see.
I know this is not what you want. We wish we weren't here. In many ways, but... Okay, this is a little selfish, but there's a life of a child on the line here. As well as yours and ours and a lot of people, but... If you could read it, please?
Kind of holds your gaze for a few seconds, searching your face. Extends a hand.
Will you read it?
Give me the letter.
Do I think she's going to read it or just tear it up or throw it away?
Insight check if you
want. 15.
She seems cautious, reserved, but perhaps willing to listen. You feel like maybe she'll at least look at it before she tears it up.
I'm going to hold it out to her.
She takes it.
I know you're going to know the handwriting.
Kind of starts to unfold it. Sees the way she unfolds it, she catches sight of the signature and immediately closes it.
Please.
Briggs, hold my seat for me. She kind of folds her hands and rests her chin on them. She's still holding the letter in her hands and just sort of tense her hands, one hand on the other, resting her chin in it for a few moments. Looks up at you, Scamp. Come with me. I don't want to read this here.
Okay.
And she steps up and kind of pushes her way through the crowd towards the back, like one of the back doors. Corzin, you can see this happening. You haven't heard the conversation, but you see that she's going. And...
All right, I'm going to do my best to follow.
Okay. Let's see if she notices. Okay, you kind of having that. Are you starting, guys? Finally, shut the fuck up.
Thank God.
He's so lucky.
I hate him so much.
And you slip past him.
Yeah, so lucky he didn't get away with a knee to the ball.
Yeah.
But...
A headbutt to the ball. If
No,
it'd been human,
halfling.
if it'd been human, that would have been brilliant.
Yeah.
If he'd been human, I'd have just been able to go around him because halfling.
Yeah, just go
or
under.
through his legs.
Yeah.
I'd love to headbutt somebody in the bollocks. That'd be incredible.
You have to dive at them.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Leah opens the door and kind of leaves it open behind her, but doesn't bother really holding it open for you, Scamp. But steps into a small, into just part of. You can see that this sailor's dive has a small, just like little corridor which leads to some stairs which go up to where there's presumably rooms above. They're currently unoccupied, and she takes a seat on the stairs. Waits for you to step in. Corzin, are you going to try and follow them into the stairwell?
I think I kind of have to, but what I'll do is if they're in the stairwell and they're just staying there...
Seems to be.
I will make as if I'm going up past them and then turn the corner.
Okay, give me a deception check.
So deceptive. That's not bad, actually.
16.
Okay, you kind of... She sits down and then, seeing you come sort of awkwardly, folds her arms, waits for you to get past. You wait up and you kind of get to the top of the stairs and just sort of hunker down and listen. Seeing the random heavily armed sailor go past, which is actually not that uncommon a sight. You see her kind of just turn the piece of paper over in her hands a few times, looking at the name written on the outside. She spends the better part of 30-40 seconds before she finally opens it. Unfolds it and begins to read. As she reads down, you see there's a sort of catch to her throat, to her breathing at first. Then it becomes a little bit deeper. At one point, she actually just snorts at something that's written on there. When she finishes, gets to the bottom, you see her eyes just sort of linger at the last line for a few moments. She rubs her forehead and seems to just sort of firm herself and begins reading the letter again, this time with a more critical eye. There's a look of concentration, her brows furrowed. It's not quite anger so much as focus, but it's hard to tell if there's a little bit of anger in there as well. Finishes reading it for the second time. Folds it closed. So, well, a rogue factory is out of the question, but I know of just a house that has a back door, a long corridor in it. I could put my men, some friends of mine, out the back door in case anything goes amiss and I want to run, and you could come in the front door.
I think it's worth having something physically between you, something to some degree solid. I'm worried about magic that might pull you together or explosions that would push you forward. I'm terrified of you two being in the same room together. But I think you need to be.
Seems so.
It's very important you don't touch. I don't know what's in that letter, but you can't be within touching distance.
Full of mysteries. All right. Let's get this over with then. If you go out from the front of this pub and go left, third left, left and then the third left, go to the end of the street, number 41.
41.
Go through the front door.
Front door.
If you go through the back, I'm not talking.
How soon?
As soon as you can. Give me 15 minutes.
Okay. Thank you. It means a lot that you're giving us this much.
She just sort of stares at you. Kind of face fixed. I'm sure.
It's been a really hard couple of months. I'm sure yours has been just as bad, so thank you. It's nice to meet someone reasonable.
Months. Okay. Good to meet you. She just tapping her foot against the floor. Go away.
Bye!
You exit out the same door you came in. She sits there for about 2 minutes, just and gets up. Okay, you can do this. And steps out and goes to talk to people.
One thing I was going to see if I could deduce, actually, in this time is there any indication? I mean, I know I've asked before about what her relationship to the others was, but is there any indication that's like, if she's part of a ship's crew, what role does she fulfill? Because I don't know that you maybe would have shared the details of what she was. Oh, actually, no. Corzin was there.
You were there for Professor Arte's scribe.
Yeah, we've done this.
So you know that she's involved to some degree in surgical capacity.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's nothing really of her clothes to indicate that.
Fair enough. Corzin will wait where he is until he hears her go.
Okay.
And then he'll head downstairs again.
I'm just going to head out.
Yeah.
And assume Corzin will catch up.
Yeah, I will meet up with Scamp.
You head back to the Whaler's Surprise.
She read it.
Right. What did she say?
She wants to see you. 15 minutes, number 41. It was a whole bunch of directions.
Do you remember them?
Corzin, do you remember the directions she said?
Yeah.
Good.
Out of that pub, turn left, then third left. The house number is 41. Go through the front door.
She said if you go through the back, she won't talk to you.
Okay, so she's... Is there space between us? Did you?
Yes, there's a long corridor. She's bringing men.
Okay.
I've said if we can have some sort of physical barrier to some degree, that would be good. It's 15 minutes. I'm going to take 10 minutes and I'm going to cast a spell to check for magic.
Okay.
Let's be really careful here.
How, on a scale of like 1 to 1,000,000, how pissed off did she look?
How pissed off do I think she looked on a scale of 1 to 1,000,000?
Give me an insight check.
That's a 1.
1,000,000
Can I,
or 1? I don't know.
You can
Can I? Yeah.
insight check as well.
Okay, that's it's dirty 20.
You didn't see her, but she sounded like she was holding a lot of emotion in.
She was, I think, reserved is perhaps the best.
As always.
She's really pretty.
Yeah, she is. Okay, I need to take a second and work out if there's anything that I really need to say for her safety. Has anyone made any bargains that you know? Anyone in the crew bought any weird magic stuff? Anything else? I'm not thinking properly.
Clara. We need to ask if she's seen Clara.
Clara, a little girl, lots of scabs.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be beyond the realms of possibility here.
Or we can have Clara on the ship for all we know. There are no rules against that.
Alright, well, we can ask her about Clara, but...
Yeah.
I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
So that it'll start just before we leave.
Yeah.
Because it's only got 10 minutes on it.
Okay. You do so. Nothing comes up in this pub you're in, and as you make your way back towards the Rusty Spoon along the directions you're given, okay, nothing else really shows up. Nothing that
nothing
comes up as
unexpected
magical.
anyway.
Yep, beyond the various belongings
All of
you
us.
have, and so on. And you make your way to number 41. It's just a terraced building, probably looks to have been built a few decades ago, probably to deal with the increase in the rope and sail working factories in the area.
Are her men gonna, be there?
Yes.
Right. Okay. That seems fair.
Was this anything of what you were expecting?
Yeah. Right, let's go.
Okay.
I knock on the door.
There's no response.
I go in.
The door is unlocked.
I don't go any distance further in, I just go in and...
By the way, as you've been going in, kind of matching your mood, the sky has become more and more overcast. The clouds are going... there are grey clouds just going to dark on the horizon now, coming in from the sea. And you open the door and look in. You can see at the far end of a 25-foot long corridor.
Oh god, so we'd have to shout, thank god, that would be awful.
A desk has been pushed into the middle of the corridor. You can see there's a set of stairs on your side. There are ways into rooms, and there's a far door. The door is currently open. You can see there are 2 halflings, 3 humans with guns behind, and standing in front of the door is Leah. She just looks at you for a few moments.
Hello.
Looks behind her. Close the door if you hear anything.
I'll close mine as well. So
we can come inside though.
Do you let them come inside?
Can we? I just want to get within 30 feet of these people. I need to know this is safe.
Alright, do a little run down the corridor.
I just want to
Just
walk far
give my
enough
friend
to
a
see
moment.
if they have magic on any of them.
No, nothing pings up magic on any of them.
Do you want us outside?
Could you give us a minute? Well,
If you need us, scream.
I'll be right here. I won't go any further.
Okay.
Door closes on her side. You close the door on your side.
Thought privacy might be good.
Stardust. Stardust. So.
I have no idea how to start.
I'm waiting.
I'm sorry.
You've said that part already.
I know. Just... Sorry. So...
You said you made things worse.
Yeah, I did. So I made a deal with a hag a while back. I guess I'll start at the beginning. I didn't... After what happened, I didn't know where you were, and I didn't know if you were safe.
You didn't know if I was safe?
Well, I knew you weren't fucking safe, let's be honest. You can't have been.
No.
So... We didn't know how bad this person was at the time. I got out, evidently. I gesture at me being here. And I wanted to...
Can't believe you actually put that on.
I always fancied it, so I figured now it's the time. You know, go big or go home.
What are you even calling yourself?
Celestia Stardust. It's the best I could think of. I play music now.
Well, it's the one lesson you were actually good at.
It was shit at everything else. Fuck. How are you? Are you okay?
I don't even know how to answer that.
I'm sorry.
I nearly lost an eye.
I know. I saw it happen. Sorry, I didn't explain that bit. I made a deal for a scrying spell to see if you were alright. It was right when that happened. I put at her eye.
So you know I killed a man?
I didn't see that part. It stopped just as he came towards you with the blade.
Well, now you know.
I assume that was a fist.
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yes. Of course, yes.
Sorry.
She reaches up and kind of peels back, just pulls away the eye patch. The eye underneath the iris is still blue, but it's just kind of shot through with red.
Can you see?
Not well. It's blurry. The the ship's surgeon did what she could.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't lose it, but they say it'll take magic if I'm ever to see it like that again.
I've got some. I kick myself and up and do a healing word on her. Because fuck it.
Feels a sort of rush. And... Oh, like a potion. The eye hasn't improved.
I don't think it would help, really. I'm not that good.
No.
I've got a friend who might be able to help. He's better at healing than I am.
Holds the...
He's a halfling, believe it or not.
You?
Yeah, I realised what a dickhead I was.
Tell me one thing. Is he an apple farmer?
No, he's a sailor.
Oh, that's good.
But I did ask him that when I first met him. He was not pleased.
Actually asked him.
I was fucking stupid, you know that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that.
I know I've said this already, but you do know that I wouldn't have done that.
I don't even know why you did that. After everything.
My dear sister saw us in the solarium. And, she said it was that, or she'd have you as the next one up at church. And she said I wasn't allowed to tell you why. I'm so sorry. I really couldn't see another option. And I didn't know she was going to send you away straight afterwards.
How could you have not? In frustration, she kind of reaches her sleeves and pulls it back and looks down at her arm and just in a deep red blister, there's something which, to someone who reads Jovan, would look kind of like a misshapen S or a 5, but you know is the elven letter R. What did you think they'd do to me after you branded me?
I wasn't thinking straight.
No.
So would you rather have been at church? Because that was apparently the other option.
I wouldn't.
Sorry, I didn't mean that how it came out.
I thought I was going.
We were so nearly out.
Yeah.
We were so close.
We were so close.
The boat was the next day.
How did you get up?
On the boat we were supposed to be on.
For the love of...
Hid between some fucking barrels. Gave the bloke a really big bribe. You know those boats don't do their paperwork properly.
What was it you used to say about dwarves? Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I didn't think I'd ever see you again. I didn't want to see you again.
That's fair. I don't blame you.
I thought you were chasing me. I thought...
Fuck,
I
seriously?
thought they'd sent you up. You'd always told me about the bullshit loyalty tests and...
Oh, fuck. No. I came looking for you. As soon as they'd sent you away. This isn't a bullshit loyalty test. I will... My friend can do truth spells if you want. I don't know what I can do to convince you on this one.
They're the one who did the magic to try and find me?
Oh, God. How do I even start on this one? Well, with regard to that, that was actually what we thought at the time was an old swamp witch. It's a really long story.
It's kind of sounding like the start of the fairy stories I used to tell you.
I know.
Guessing
She wasn't. No, she was something else.
But something powerful, something that can find people.
Yeah. And, I made a deal with her. For a chance to see where you were and if you were alive, because I didn't know if you were at that point. It was a stupid deal, the first one. Yes, there's more than one. That's how fucking stupid... So fucking stupid I am, but you know that already. Well, that one, she wanted a day of my beauty. So that's happened already. 24 hours of me being her and her being me. There's one town that I can't go back to because she did a load of shit.
I was joking about the fairy tale.
Yeah, I know. But the thing is, my friend, the halfling who you haven't met yet, maybe you will at some point, I don't know. I mean, we should at least get him to take a look at that. I point at her eye because he really might be able to help. He has a family. He's got a wife and a kid. And there was this sickness in that town, which it turned out...
Warwick's Watch?
Yeah, the whaling sickness. Did you hear about it?
We were there.
I know I missed you by a couple of days. Well, there was a sickness there. And his kid had it. And they were asking for 2,000 gold to cure it. And we didn't have that much money. And...
You didn't have that much money? That's a first, isn't it?
Shut up. No, I grabbed whatever I could when I left. Come on.
I get it.
I missed you. You don't have to have missed me. It's okay. I'm not expecting anything back.
Shut up. Just carry on. Okay. Just.
Okay. I'm not here to try and win you back. I don't deserve that. I just want you to know that. I'm not expecting anything from you. There is no pressure from this. I just need to warn you about what's going on.
Good at apologies.
No, I'm not. Fuck. Okay, so...
I know.
So... There's a sickness, and the thing is, it turned out that she'd caused it. The hag. The hag. That's what we've been calling her. I think that's what they are. But she'd caused it. And by this point, she'd been following us for a while and fucking with us in various ways. She seems to have taken a liking to us for whatever reason. We still haven't really worked out why, to be honest. But the thing is, she'd caused the sickness. And she'd taken his wife and kid into this place. And basically, there was a deal where we could make it so they'd live, but it wouldn't cure the sickness. And the kid still had it. So even if we'd saved him, he might have died. There was a pretty big chance that he would have still died even if we'd saved him, and I didn't know what it would do to my friend if that happened. So I made another deal. And the thing is, by this point, when I was doing the scrying spell, I didn't bother to be secretive about who I was talking about or how much I loved you or any of that bollocks, because I thought she was just a random old woman in the middle of the forest. I didn't think she was powerful or anything. Just a bit of magic, you know.
She is.
She is. She's really powerful. And I made a deal to cure the whaling sickness.
And she could do that?
Yeah. I made a deal. And I asked her if she was planning on going after you, because she'd gone for Corzin's family. It's the halfling, so I thought she might go after, people to do it with me. And she basically said, or at least implied, yes, she was. So as part of this deal, as part of the other terms, firstly, I owe her a favour that I'm going to be magically compelled to do. I don't know what that could be. But as part of this deal to save 20,000 people, the other thing was that I said she couldn't go near you until I got to you. We have to be within touching distance before she can get to you.
Right.
Hence a gesture at the space down the corridor. So, but the thing is, you have a whole crew, you have a ship, she could have talked to any of them. She's got a little girl with her. Sort of, blonde girl, sort of messed up face, scabs, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I saw her, I think I saw her at Warwick's Watch.
Did you talk to her?
She came up asking if we had any food.
Have you seen her since?
Kind of racks her brain. No, I don't think so.
Okay, that's good. Have any of your crew made any deals with anyone? Has there been anything weird going on, magic stuff? Anything strange?
Not that I know of, but this hag that you made a deal with.
Yeah.
She's powerful.
Very.
She can find people.
Yes. Probably. I mean, she can scry. What is it?
Oh. Regent.
What? Do you know her?
No. No, I don't, but... When I was taken, I never thought I'd see the surface again. And then there was us.
Yeah.
And I was taken again. And I thought it would all be over. And you know, never prayed much. But maybe there is a regent out there listening. And Captain Merlot stormed our ship and took us on. And
You free other people now, don't you?
well, we
I've
can.
heard that's what that ship does.
Merlot wants to head back to Sunder, carry on the fight there. That's where the others operate a lot of the time, breaking chains. Briggs, the quartermaster, almost wants to. Been talking about staying here, trying to break the chains here. At the time, I was just happy to be free. Like, to be free. I couldn't settle down in some village in Needmere somewhere. I couldn't.
We never would have done anyway.
I wanted to see the world.
Me too.
I guess we have been.
Yeah. Not in the way we planned.
But it wasn't until I came here that I heard rumours. People talking about an old woman who can find anything, who knows secrets and hoards them and hunts them down. I heard she was somewhere towards the capital, but she's got people in every city.
What, in Alisond?
Yes.
Is she Old Mother Scrimshaw?
That's what I've... Yes.
Different one.
But
this one's name's Olga Gristlecombs. I don't know if Old Mother Scrimshaw is a hag or not. She's fucking weird, I've met her.
But it made me think, what if I could find them?
What do you mean?
When they took us, we were with a travelling group of halflings in the hills in the south of Brighthall. We'd been with them for a couple of weeks, seeing the sights, going town to town, doing jobs and
just travelling,
just doing what I always wanted to do. And in the night, they came. Humans even some halflings. We didn't know they were in the pay of drow until they sold us into the passage. We got brought down to the pits, and they realized I was educated.
Mm.
And it turned out someone needed his tutor. But Michael wasn't. He wasn't educated. He was just...
Who's Michael?
She looks down the floorboards for a long time before looking back up. He's my husband.
Fuck.
I thought it was best when I was down there. I thought I was never going to see the surface again. I thought I should just live as if he was dead.
Oh, right. If I'd known you were grieving, then again, why on earth would you have trusted me?
I wish I could. I want to.
Corridor's a bitch, isn't it?
Yeah, that too.
Oh, did you want to hit me? That's also okay.
I didn't want to hit you. I wanted to hit you when you sent to me that first time.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I don't want to hit you. But this is the first time I've thought, what if he's alive? And if he is...
You could find him.
I could rescue him. I don't...
How long were you with him?
Less time than you know. It was a whirlwind thing. 2 months. Married 2 months. Then married 2 months.
Fucking hell. That's not like you.
That's not. My father would have said that. He played music like you. He was good working with his hands. Couldn't understand algebra. But
you have a type, clearly.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what this means. But the thing is, you came looking for me after through I don't even know what, through a lot from what it sounds like.
I don't think I've told you even a quarter of it.
I don't know how I feel, but I need to find him. I need to know. I need to know if he's alive.
You could describe him to me. I can do sending now. It would seem only fair. You could do it now if you like. Up to you what you want to say. Obviously I wouldn't say anything about us. Were we real? Or were you just trying to make the best of a bad situation.
There's a part of me that really wants to say, but I suppose she looks down. Yes. Yes, we were.
Thank you.
Didn't want it to be at first.
That seems fair.
You were...
I didn't expect you to want me.
Neither did I.
Yeah. I wanted you nearly immediately, but I didn't expect it to be reciprocated. I try not to push anything because I just never been subtle.
Not your strong suits, really.
No. I hope I didn't push you.
No. No, you never...
I didn't want to.
I know. I didn't expect that sort of kindness down there.
Funny what love does to you. You were the first one who actually valued it. Everyone else thought being kind was stupid and pointless.
She smiles.
You were the first one who thought I was any kind of good. Actually, everybody else thought I was sort of useless and tall and gawky and stupid, and you taught me that caring about people was important, and that it could be good and useful. This all sounds really pathetic, I'm sorry. You told me that there could be another world than the one that I was in, and I didn't think that there could be before you, and I expect nothing from you, nothing. Because you've given me so much already. And if you'd like a sending spell from me, I can do that for you too. It's the least I can do.
Okay.
But that's up to you. And you can take some time to think about it.
I don't need it.
Obviously, I won't say anything about us. I'm not a complete dick.
Okay.
I can do 2 if 25 words isn't enough. I know that problem. I'm so sorry you were scared of me. I hate that. You weren't scared of me when we were... Okay, good.
She just answers you with a look.
Yeah. It's audio format, you wouldn't be able to hear that.
Yeah. His name is Michael John Boot. Dull name, I know. He had long brown hair. I don't know if they'd have let him keep it. Probably shaved it off.
Mm-hmm.
Fair skin, bright olive.
Mm-hmm. And he was taking it with you?
Yes.
So he might still be below?
Might still be below. Green eyes. Kind of a smile like someone who's stolen your wallet and you haven't noticed yet. Broad-shouldered, tall, good with his hands.
You really loved him, didn't you?
Yes.
Did you love me?
Yes.
Oh, you know I love you.
I know. I don't know how I feel.
That's okay. As I say, after what I did, I expect nothing. Obviously, I'd love things to be different, but I don't expect forgiveness. I don't expect love. I expect nothing from you.
Tell him Leah's alive. Tell him I'm free. I'm looking for him. If he's alive, tell me where he is, if he's hurt, where he's been put, how I can find him.
Right. Okay. So, let's give this a go. I gather all my spirits together into a little ball. And, you can do sending from just a description, can't you? I've not misremembered this.
You can try to, yeah.
Yeah.
If you've got enough of a description of who someone is, and you feel like you can unambiguously identify them, you can.
Mm-hmm. Right. I speak into them. Leah's alive. She's looking for you. She's free. Where are you? How can she find you? I look at Leah for anything else.
She kind of looks an apology with her eyes. I love you.
She loves you.
I'll find you.
She'll find you.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
The spirits flicker away.
Now we wait.
We wait. 1 minute. 2 minutes. Outside, the clouds have grown thick and dark over above. A storm front is blowing in from the sea.
I get my notebook out while we're waiting so I can write down what he says.
Thin rain has picked up, has begun to grow thicker, and it's now starting to become more of a sort of heavy, beating downpour outside. The rain's running off your tricorn. Corzin. Scamp, you find yourself sort of naturally huddling under the eaves. And people are kind of rushing about more hurriedly now. "5 minutes. Spirits return. Nothing. No response.
Leah, there's nothing.
Does Does that mean...
I mean, it could mean he's dead. It could mean he's unconscious. It doesn't necessarily mean that he's dead.
We'd need some other way to know for sure. So
if he was asleep, it would have woken him up.
Without thinking, she takes a couple of steps forwards and then notices the desk.
Stop.
Kind of holds herself back.
I wish I could hug you right now.
Yeah. The sort of just beating of the rain against the doors is growing louder.
What do we do now?
I don't know. Need to find someone who can confirm, maybe, one way or another.
Can I help?
Yes.
I know that's weird, but I feel like I owe you that. I want you to be happy.
I want you to be happy. The distant sounds of thunder. That's not thunder.
Insight check.
Yeah, perception check on this one, actually.
Can I?
Yeah.
8.
11.
11's enough. That's artillery fire.
No.
And as you listen, you hear the sort of dull of exchanges of fire coming from towards the west.
I knock on the door.
What's happening?
Fire. We've got to go.
There's a knock from Leah's side.
Artillery fire.
The door opens.
Have you got somewhere safe you can go?
We can get towards the ship, but... she looks back. Briggs, what is it? Bad news. Looks like... bad news. Sounds like the army's finally making its advance.
Fuck, what do we do?
Yeah, I thought we were supposed to be going Allison.
At this point, I'm going to say it because they've been searching for a while. It's been taking a while. You see a figure running up through the streets, and it's Alton. Kind of thinks, wait! Kind of runs up. I don't believe it, but someone was asking around for a dwarf called Scamp. They wanted me to give you this, and he passes you a folded note.
Oh, they clearly don't know me well.
Who was it?
Kind of some bloke looked like he was ex-army. One of the soldiers who'd come over to our side.
What is it?
Who's it from?
This is Scamp, by the way, Leah.
Hi.
That's Corzin. This is Leah.
Hello.
Now we all know each other.
Oh dear. No, I know. Okay, I'm a very slow reader.
Do you want me to read it?
Yes, please.
Okay. Kay has offered F permanent seats at his table.
King. General.
F plays for K now. If F wins this game of chess, this tournament is over. Too many toys in his playbox for anyone else to play. If you see F help my career, it's the only way we can keep playing. M.
I'm not an assassin, but what are we going to do about that?
I have no idea what the fuck to do with
continued
this.
Sounds of artillery barrages.
I think we need to move.
Leah, go somewhere safe. We are going somewhere not safe.
Okay. Maybe. Briggs, we do you join this? Do we? Whatever we do, if we get back to the ship, we can get to the guns there. Well, one way or another, we're going to need them. Right.
Be safe.
She can see she's wanting to run across to the desk, but she just sort of puts one hand to her chest and just reaches out into the air towards you.
I do the same thing.
Clasps her hand.
Yeah. I missed you.
I missed you.
I'll send word to the ship soon, okay?
Okay.
I'll let you know where we're staying.
We haven't got long, Leah. I know, Brace.
Right.
Come on,
Run,
let's go.
see you later.
They break into a run. The Alton is...
Can we tell where the artillery fire is coming
Oh, yeah, it's coming from towards, you'd say, just from here, towards Moreau's Circus. It sounds like they're pushing from there. All right. I'm thinking...
What the fuck do we do with this? I gestured to the letter.
I don't know. I should get to City Hall or to Benoit Square or something. I need to report in. Oh, Regent's Teeth.
We need to get somewhere safe.
No, we need to get to the most dangerous place possible. If we're going to
What does he want us to do? I'm not thinking properly.
He wants us to kill the general.
He wants us to take
That's
out
what he's
Fainal.
asking us to do.
How does he want us to kill the general?
He's probably leading the charge right now.
Is that what generals do? That doesn't sound like what generals do.
Well,
what side are we even on? Should we kill the general?
He's going to kill a lot of innocent people.
I don't know what's happening here, but if the army make their way through, they're going to kill everyone they can find. And if they've got the whole of the army here, then they just... I mean, it's not a straight march to the capital, but they've got ships. If they take the chateau, they can sail straight up to Doulé.
Let's be selfish for a second. If they come through, they're killing Leah.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's kill him.
Let's go kill a general.
Well, yet. Okay. You come out the front. Okay, this is going to get interesting. So, you
did military stuff. Do you know where a general goes?
DM question.
Roll a history check.
Seriously.
Roll a history check. You can do this as well, Corzin.
That's 20.
Also dirty 20.
Okay, you would expect the day, unless they are particularly a glory seeker, generals these days tend not to be leading the charge. Or if they are, it would be a cavalry charge. And cities are not generally great for cavalry combat. Most likely, they would set up a central base of operations from which they would then dispatch messengers out towards the front. So they would likely be somewhere that they could reliably kind of hole up and send messages.
Right, we've got to get to the arsenal then.
Right. Yeah, let's go.
Papers.
We do have papers.
Okay. Which way do you want... let's see how this goes. So, which way do you want to run? Do you want to make your way out? You're currently sort of between... Right, so you see of the two sets of docks, you're on the western side of St. Antoine's Chateau.
Okay.
You... so
we're
right about
sort
there. In one of the streets behind it. The closest... You're actually pretty equidistant between Moreau's Circus and Benoit Square, which are the two easiest paths for large groups to get through, and indeed you can hear the sound of artillery fire coming from
Not
there.
that way.
Yeah.
Down
The other way,
Sort of the way we came.
Okay,
but
you're going to try and...
yeah.
Thread the needle.
Maybe we should try and get on a roof.
Are the buildings here close enough that you could travel via rooftop?
In that sort of densely packed alleyway sprawl, yes.
Yeah.
I was just
It's
thinking...
only by the main streets that they get
I was
quite
just
wide.
thinking if we get on top of him, we'd have more of a clear shot.
Agreed.
I think we need to get in by talking. I don't think we're going to be able to fight our way in.
Yeah, but we're less likely to be shot in a crossfire if we're going by the rooftops.
I don't think it's worth wasting a spell, though.
How do we get in
Can
by
we
talking?
climb?
We can
We've got
climb.
papers. We are military intelligence. We're a friend of his second in command.
So we need to be inside the thing and get to him and kill him and then get out again and not be killed in the process.
Seems about the size of it.
That sounds mental.
Look around you.
Do we have another option?
No, but I'm just thinking, is there a way we could literally not be in the middle of lots of crossfire?
Rooftop seems like not a
Like I
bad
said,
idea.
rooftops.
Yeah, rooftop seems good.
There's
Because
a
then
way
at
to
least we
get
can run
there.
away. We can fly away.
I'd rather not spend the spell.
No, but I mean,
If
after,
needs to be.
after
Yeah.
we've killed him, we could fly away. If we're stuck. Like, I don't think we should fly now. I think it's a
No.
waste.
Let's climb.
Right.
Okay.
I've got my kit.
I'm so good at this.
Find
Get
the
on my
nearest
back.
tall
Thank
building.
you.
Okay, Apple Blossom is kind of looking at this and going, I mean...
There's a lieutenant on your side in the army. If we can get rid of the general, this could be over. Just keep people safe.
He looks you between you. Alright.
Don't die.
Please.
Pharisees, Regent and all the saints.
Yeah.
You too.
Yeah.
Regent stuff.
And he
Religion.
runs off towards just in the direction of the fighting, probably just hoping to link up with someone.
Nice to see a war we didn't start.
Yeah.
Let's
But
not
maybe
go
we can
near
finish
it.
it.
That would be lovely.
Yeah.
Let's get on a roof.
Okay.
Up, please.
Okay, I put Scamp on my
so
back.
Scamp athletics check to hold on to Celestia's
And I do
back.
mine with advantage.
With advantage.
Corzin
just
will
a
be
straight
fine,
one.
let's be honest.
Yeah, straight one from Corzin with his his prodigious
That
strength.
is a 16 for me.
It's a 9.
Fucking hell, mate.
Athletics? Oh, yes, 17.
Okay, 17. You're kind of clambering your way up. Scamp, you
Drain
kind of
pipe.
just feel like a bit of lethargy and you almost slip, and causing you just actually have to reach out and grab them, help them back up onto Celestia's back. But the three of you do manage to clamber your way up onto a rooftop. From here on the red tiled roofs, you almost can get an aerial sort of view of the fighting. You can see presses of men at Moreau's Circus and Benoit Square. Artillery pieces have been brought into the wider areas and are now blasting through erected barricades that you actually mostly didn't see because you avoided them. While men on the radical side are doing their best to fight back. There is exchanges of gunfire, but the radicals don't really have artillery beyond what's provided by the chateau, and they can't fire at this point, not until they get to somewhere with a clear space to fire on. Not without gunning down thousands of civilians, at least.
Right.
Which is a prospect which unfortunately doesn't look like General Fernald is that worried about, based on the damage he's doing to the surrounding buildings.
Keep low, move fast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Across the rooftops.
I need from all of you then athletics checks and stealth checks.
Oh,
God.
Yeah.
My two best things. Oh shit, balls, man.
16
Athletics
stealth.
was a 9.
7 from athletics. Oh god.
That's a 2 on athletics.
Stealth was an 11.
13 for stealth from me.
Okay.
Not great.
All very bad.
And then 9 was from Scamp. Just making a note.
No, 2 from Scamp.
No, for the stealth.
16 for stealth.
16 for stealth. I put those the wrong way around. Thank you. Put those around. So you're at least very stealthy.
Fall off the roof really quietly.
So Celestia, as you're kind of escaping, the three of you begin working your way, moving quickly between the different sets of rooftops as quickly as you can. However, Scamp, there's a moment where you slip, you hit one of the roof tiles, and it just slides out from under your foot. Give me a dexterity saving throw.
I'm going to tide it.
Good.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Ooh.
You catch yourself as you just sort of fall flat and scramble back up onto the rooftop. Okay. You avoid managing to fall over and continue scrambling away across. Down below, you can see there are groups of soldiers flooding into the streets themselves, just engaging where they can with musket and carbine fire, but at times just in a brutal melee, drawing swords, clubs, whatever they have, just trying to gain possession of these narrow streets some way through. Bad news is it looks like the army has numbers on their side, which isn't helping them that much in the narrows, but there is a definite push going towards the docks now. Nevertheless, looking around, give me a perception check.
Ooh, 18.
1.
19.
A little distracted.
I'm so distracted. That one feels very in character.
18, and what was yours?
19.
19. Okay. The pair of you do spot. You're not the only people to think of doing this. There are a couple of halflings, the ones you saw earlier, in fact, up on the rebel side, who clambered onto rooftops and are taking not so much pot shots as deliberate snipes at people they can see, but more there's also 2 more halflings on the army side who are kind of scanning the rooftops as well. So I'm just going to give checks for the rebels, checks for the army. Okay. The army, you're stealthy enough to evade their attention. However,
have I seen these people?
You've seen all of them. Yeah, you've seen all of these.
I haven't seen fucking any of them.
You've not seen any of them, but the 2 of you have.
If it looks like someone's likely to spot us, can I bend luck?
Yes, you can.
Well, -2.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to help.
Well, they wouldn't spot you. I mean, they would have disadvantage to do that anyway, so there's effectively counts as 5 lower. It's enough that they might not spot Corzin, but you do notice one of them seems to twig Celestia, who is distracted by everything else going on.
I'm not doing well at anything right now.
No.
Those low rolls felt so right.
Yeah. And you see them raise their carbine to kind of training it on Celestia. They're about 100 feet away.
Okay.
I haven't
seen it.
You two have seen it. You noticed this. Celestia hasn't. You have. I'm going to give you a few seconds to see what your gut reactions are to this.
I am going to move forward and try and take a shot at one of them with my carbine.
Okay, the one that's loading.
Basically, just to try and suppress them briefly, but I mean, if at all possible, I'm shooting to wound rather than kill.
Like shoot him in the leg or
whatever.
Right,
yeah. Give me an attack roll. You are you're able to get within short range.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to check a firebolt because we need to keep moving.
Okay, that's 16 to hit.
19 to hit.
Okay, roll damage from both of you.
I'm going to be aiming for the gun if I can. I don't know. 15.
Okay.
9 percussive.
Really good.
Okay. Were you both aiming at the same target? Is the question?
No, I would go if I can see that Corzin's going for one particular. I'd aim for the other.
Yeah.
The 2 rebels. One of them. His gun sort of just is struck by flame and goes off, and you see it sort of crack in his hands. Seeing what's happening, he's like, shit, and scrambles to the ground. The other one you see is shot. You manage to get him a thigh wound.
Yeah.
Falls over and starts scrambling for cover. It attracts the attention of the 2 army snipers, but seeing what you've just done, they kind of look over, give you a nod, and return to their to covering the rooftops.
Right.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
With the cover of the army assisting you.
Reloading as I go if I can.
You're able to scramble over to their side. One of the 2 snipers actually kind of waves you over if you want as an offer.
No.
Okay, you just sort of wave back and scamper down behind.
Celestia, you're too tall for this.
Yeah, I really am.
You are, however, able to drop down back behind the army's lines, and you can see there are now groups of soldiers rushing forwards towards Benoit Square. There are horses dragging cannon behind them, as well as they're moving in more reinforcements. There is a sort of organised chaos filled with shouting.
What do we do? I'm not thinking properly.
We need you to, because I'm really scared of speaking the truth in the next half an hour or so. So I'm going to stay really quiet.
What do you need me to do?
There is driving rain through all of this. Like, the clouds above are thick and black.
Just pissing rain,
it's just, yeah.
I need you to
Again,
be an arrogant
insight
drow.
check. I think you know why.
Make an insight check.
Yeah, is there anything weird going on with the rain? I don't think I'd think of that.
No, what?
In my current state, but
Corzin definitely would.
Yeah.
Insight, that is 15.
Okay. something. You just get an uneasy feeling in your waters. You get a very uneasy feeling in your waters, but it's hard to tell with all of with the cacophonous just sort of bangs coming from the many artillery pieces. But the rain is thick enough, like a storm has rushed in, and water is just running through the streets now.
Okay, if any of you look at Corzin, you see his teeth are gritted, and he's looking up at the sky kind of ominously.
We can't think about that right now. If it's coming, we can't stop it.
Yeah, it's fuck all we can do. We've got to run if it comes.
And he doesn't answer, but he nods and moves on with you.
Okay. As you're doing it, you hear the sounds coming from one of the soldiers. You see, actually, you're not the only person who's running the opposite way to the main group. You see there's an army runner as well. One of the captains of an infantry group stops and goes, "Wait, where are you going, man? Reports back from Benoit Square. They've pushed forwards towards City Hall. Good news. They're doing this. I've heard Moreau's. They've taken Moreau's circus. Keep right. Come on at it, lads. Not long now before we take this place."
Right.
What the fuck do you need me to do?
I need you to be an emissary from the king. He's got drow.
Right.
Be an arrogant drow.
An arrogant drow, emissary from the king. What do I want?
To see the general.
I want to see
or
the
the
general.
lieutenant. Either would do right now.
How are we going to get out?
I don't know.
One problem at a time.
You hear
No, not the way to think of it. How are we going to get out?
You hear a different timbre of cannon fire now coming from the docks. It sounds like the chateau's guns are firing now.
In which direction can we tell?
Yeah, it sounds like they're firing towards the. Give me a perception check. Actually, this is kind of hard to tell just by ear. So.
Natural 20.
Okay, no, you're actually pretty familiar with telling what direction guns are firing just by sound, given the life you've lived.
Yeah.
And you can tell right now the guns are firing towards the docks.
Okay.
Which means, the cannons are firing towards the city rather than
not
away
as a
from
kraken. That's all I needed to know.
Yeah.
So.
Do we need to kill him, or could we just tell him to stand down because the king's told him to?
Would he listen?
Would he believe it?
If I do magic, he might. I could suggest it to him.
Temporary solution. Then what?
Then we get him isolated and shoot him in the face.
That might do it. We get in there. I hold the flies as long as I can, and if needs be, we dash out.
Right.
I'm going to put the beard on, because I'd really rather a tiefling didn't murder a general.
Fair.
Yeah, that's a really good thought, actually. Right, who am I lying to?
Everyone!
Okay.
I need to not speak in front of anyone important.
True. How far in is he? How far do we need to get?
I don't know.
Would I have any inkling?
History check. They're kind of not using history as knowledge of military practices a lot.
3.
No. Nope. You've never been into the Royal Arsenal. You've no idea.
Let's guess he's in the middle.
Fuck it. Right. Okay.
You push your way on through the driving rain. Your boots slipping against the cobblestones and against the press of soldiers coming far away. But as you get closer towards the kind of warehouse-like structure of just a series of buildings that form up the arsenal, you can see. At this point, literally carts of ammunition, cannonballs, powder are being dragged out. Soldiers are running in and out. Even a handful of cavalry are being brought in and out. Mostly as just pushing everything they can towards the front. But the majority of people here are messengers, and you can see up near there are. Essentially, 2 main entrances. The entrance where all of the supply is coming in and out of, and there's about 20 guards stationed on patrol, but there's a lot of soldiers just coming in and out. And there's the front doors along the side, and there's again probably at least 20 soldiers.
Is there a door guy?
Yeah, there's a door guide on both of those. Like there's several, but there's you see the one person who's kind of checking, seeing people, like listening to orders, waving people through, and so on.
Okay. I'm gonna go up to the door guy.
Which entrance? Front door or goods door?
Which one are messengers going for?
Yeah, the messenger will probably be going through a front door, I think. But
17.
2.
18.
It looks there. Generally, more common soldiers are going through the goods door. But the messengers are coming in through the front door.
If you want me to be posh, I'm going in through the front door.
Let's go through the front.
Okay.
I'm going to sort of stand slightly behind, like a servant.
Yeah.
You march yourself up towards the front door, and one of the soldiers, who's the doorman,
Celestia's kind of drawn herself up to a full height.
Try to make myself look like her bodyguard.
What is it?
I'm an emissary from the king. I have a very important message for the general.
Roll a deception check.
Oh, I'm going to cast Charm Person, by the by.
Okay.
Okay.
Are they resisting it?
It looks like they're resisting it.
I'm going to try. Is that it? No, that's off
that's
the
off
table.
the table, yep.
Let's find a different one. I don't trust that one right now. 4! -4.
Please.
It's just enough.
Oh, God.
Oh, wow.
That was a natural 18.
Sorry, you said roll deception before I said I'm going to cast Charm Person. I was going to.
That's
anyway,
fine, but that's you see. But nevertheless, okay. Still need to roll deception, but with advantage. He's willing to believe you, but it's a bold claim.
Yeah. Oh God, where's my deception? 21.
He looks you up and down. Sheep and guard. Of course. Waves you through. Priority messenger from the king.
I'll be bringing my guards. I click my fingers at you two.
Yeah, we follow.
Follow after. There is essentially just a long hallway filled with desks which people have brought in. There are clerks receiving messages, pushing them out, going through different ways. And it all leads up to a large central room where more desks have been arranged. You see at one of those desks, kind of standing over it, arguing with someone who is periodically, who you will see is in a mage's uniform, periodically touching 2 fingers to their head, and then jotting down furiously notes, and passing them to people, is the familiar figure of Matcha Mistson, who gives you barely more than a glance upon seeing you before turning to the mage and saying something to him.
Right.
You can see, however, in the central area, pouring over a map of the city, there is a group of what look like people in various high-ranking offices. At the head of them, there is one fellow that stands out. I mean, you may not know a lot about the army, but you can recognise the epaulets, Corzin, and wearing the general's epaulets, you can see there's a human with kind of barrel-chested, impressive walrus moustache, thin blonde hair, ruddy cheeks. Next to him, there is a human woman, immaculate uniform, tight black bun, green eyes, tawny skin, and they seem to be engaged in a vigorous debate about which of the fronts to be pushing on. She is just taking kind of reports, processing them, saying them to the general, and general is just barking out orders.
Right.
It is a hive of activity.
So, I'm going to be arguing for him to stand down.
Yeah, in the first instance.
Okay. So, which one of you is General Fernald?
The general looks up. The general looks up, looking almost scandalised. like, who let this idiot in?
Excuse me, I'm a messenger from the king.
Deception check.
I'm not done.
Okay.
He's commanded you to stand down. I cast suggestion.
Okay.
Again, I'm looking for trying to see if it's got working or not.
It looks like it's working.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to consult the book on this one. His stats. For what his wisdom says.
It has to be worded to be slightly reasonable.
I know.
But
I'm going to use my bonus action just to convert some spell slots. A spell slot into some sorcery points.
Okay.
I'm just keeping enough to keep doing
so
this.
Did you bend lock on this one?
If it looked like it was working, no.
Oh, no. Sorry, it looks like he's resisting.
Oh, he's resisting.
My bad. I said that wrong.
Okay, then I am bending lock,
yes.
2 minus 2.
He frowns. Now roll a deception check.
Oh, God. Come on, man. Oh, that's not bad. That is a 19. It could be worse.
19.
Probably not enough.
Okay,
but...
he goes, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about? We are on the verge of claiming this place!" At which point you see the mage suddenly look straight towards you. You see him open his mouth, and then Matcha slams his hand on the mage's shoulder and starts whispers a few words in his ear. The mage looks over him, eyes just wide, and although the mage is human, kind of stands up. Matcha kind of puts his hand on the small of his back and just almost with no force starts frog marching him out of the room.
Can I tell at all what was said to him? Like lip reading even?
Make an insight check.
Okay.
Gotcha.
8. No, okay.
No idea, but that mage was definitely reacting to something that just happened over where you are.
Okay.
I'm going to try and very quietly lean down to Scamp and say he's giving us the space. We've got to act now.
So many people, though.
How many people are there in here?
So,
in all seriousness.
Immediately around the table, there are a lot of people in here. Immediately around the table, there
I don't know what to do here, guys.
There is the general. There is the lady who's wearing colonel's epaulets. There are 2 more just staff officers who are assisting with reports and so on. Around the room, discounting the soldiers elsewhere in the building, around the room at desks or just accounting for messengers, there must be at least 20 people.
Okay.
Nothing, I can't do anything here.
There are other rooms that are joined onto this room. There are side chambers, offices, and the like.
I need to talk privately. I don't remember.
Who's up? Well, what's the meaning of these ridiculous orders?
I'm just a messenger.
Then you can wait until I have until I have put the city back into order.
I'm sure the king would be very pleased to hear that you've disobeyed a direct order.
Perhaps,
my
lady, we should talk in private.
Perhaps we should. I wouldn't want to make you look stupid in front of your officers.
Roll a roll a persuasion check.
Oh, God.
This would be actually rather than deception.
I'm flying by the seat of my pants here, guys.
Yeah.
16.
We'll call this an insight from him then. You see him wavering for a moment. This is just me signalling to Scamp.
Okay,
if you want to.
if he's wrong, oh fuck it, I'll do it. -2. I'm running out of things.
Right. Okay. Sure. Fine. I suppose I can take 30 seconds to dress down some jumped-up elf who does not know their place. Gestures to the colonel. Marie, take over the desk. I'll be right back. Let's hear. If you've got orders, let us see them. And he gestures you towards a room, bringing with him the 2 staff officers, though.
That seems fair.
You come in, and you can see there is a window between the room. Like there is a small window that looks onto the rest of the office. But he does move in, pull open the door, storms in, and just stands around a table. One of the staff officers closes it after them.
When the door's shut, I'm going to try and take a second to mouth silence.
Yeah, like our silence.
Okay.
I block the door.
And you just see his mouth go wide as if to say, "What the fuck?" Under the circumstances, roll initiative.
Yeah. How big is this room?
This room is not big. I'm going to say that it is just... It's about 20... Yeah, let's say... This is a conference room that he's pulled you into. So it's like 20 foot by 20 foot. So it's wide enough for silence to encompass all of it.
Right.
There is a conference table in the centre of it that acts as a bit of a block. The general has naturally marched himself over to the far side of it and is flanked by his 2 staff officers. Celestia, you are by the door. There is one door to the room, which is in the, we'll say, south-west corner. The general and his 2 officers are on the north side. There is also a window, which is on the south east side of things. Celestia, you are by the door. Corzin and Scamp, I will assume, unless you've mentioned otherwise, that you are broadly either side of Celestia.
Yeah.
So, Corzin, I'm going to assume you're on the side where you are not blocked. There is not a table blocking your access way to one of the officers.
Yeah.
Scamp, I'll assume you're on the other side of the table from the general.
Important question. How tall off the ground is the table?
Roll a luck check.
15.
This is a human-sized table. And everyone in this room is human. Apart from, well, I mean, all of the, almost no one in this room is human. Exactly half of the people in this room are human.
Wow, that was a bit of a car crash, really, wasn't it?
Everyone on the opposing side is human.
Everyone on the opposing side is human.
Right, okay, I rolled a 17 for my initiative.
I rolled 22.
11.
Okay, 17 to... Sorry, I realised I wrote this and I didn't actually write that down. So, 17 from Corzin, 11 from Celestia.
No, Scamp.
11 from Scamp, and Celestia's...
22?
22. Cool. And then I'll roll 1 for General. Okay. And 1 for the staff officers. Okay. All right. So, that makes it Celestia starting.
How much does silence fuck spells? I've forgotten.
You can't do verbal.
You cannot do verbal spells.
All right. Well, guess I'll try and shoot the general then.
Okay.
I can't think of anything else to do, so I'm going to shoot the general.
All right.
There are none of my spells that
Double check
aren't
if
verbal.
silence is concentration. I think
believe
it
it
is.
I believe it
is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
I've got nothing that's not verbal.
There wasn't really another option though. It couldn't be loud, you know.
Yeah, no. So roll an attack roll.
It's fucking 1, man.
Oh no.
Oh,
With a gun
okay,
as well.
with a gun. All right, roll a d6 for me.
2.
The gun explodes in your
Jesus.
hand. The barrel just.
Oh, it's all the rain. Yeah.
Give me a dex save. Yeah, the powder just with all the rain. And
Okay, the dex save ain't bad actually. That is a 24.
Okay, roll 1d10 and then take half the damage you roll.
Okay.
Rounded down.
So
4.
that is 4.
You take 4 points of
I can
damage
live with
from the gun just exploding in your hand. Okay.
Well,
you have
that
a bonus
was
action.
useless.
I'm not sure you can use you've anything you can do in a bonus action that isn't suppressed by silence.
I mean, can I give somebody inspiration by, like, gesturing to them?
Yes, but give me a performance check because it's not your usual style.
Alright. I'm going to look at Corzin and I'm going to make, like, a punching motion.
Yeah,
like, I'm going to
like
go,
sort of
as in,
punching
like,
your
fuck
fist.
him up kind of
Okay.
thing.
Yeah.
And, performance, that is a... oh my god, it's a dirty 20.
Great.
Nice.
Corzin, you have inspiration.
Okay.
Okay. Corzin, you're up next. Celestia, do you want to move from the door or you find
I'm staying in front of the door.
You stay in front of the door.
I'm blocking it.
Yep.
Okay. So we are basically at opposite ends of a table right now.
Well, the tables are kind of like flat side on, but yeah, there is 10 feet I'm going to say there's 10 feet of distance between you and one of the officers, 15 feet between you and the general, 20 between the other officer, and the table is high enough for you to run under it because it's a human-sized table.
Right. Okay.
This is what you get for not being representative with your table selections.
Yeah. Yep. I think I am going to. Yeah. I'm going to take out one of my bombs, light it, roll it under the table.
Okay.
Fantastic.
That's a deck save from them, I think.
Yeah. It's 3d6 fire damage. They've got DC 12, I think it is, or is 12. It?
Yeah. No, yeah. 12 sounds right. So, all right, let's go.
So, yeah.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, roll your 3d6 fire damage.
All right. 6.
Okay.
3 is 9. And 3 is 12. 12 fire damage.
Okay. With absolutely no sound whatsoever, there is a flash of light and smoke. Concealed from the window by the table, for the most part, although the table itself is shunted forwards and smacked soundlessly into the wall.
Yeah.
It's actually... Yeah, actually, given that the table is flying towards the wall, Scamp, give me a quick dex save.
16.
Okay, you slip out of the way before the table slams into you. The table has been dislodged, so it is now kind of on its side. Enough that one could take cover behind it if one wanted to, but is no longer serving as an obstacle between anyone just walking straight up to the general or the officers.
Okay.
So that, none of them made their save as well.
Does a bomb take one hand to throw?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Flintlock with the other one.
Target?
The general.
Cool. Make your attack roll.
That is 24 to hit.
Nice. This is a point. I didn't really come up with it, but Scamp, your detect magic would have faded long by now.
Oh yeah,
cool.
it's only 10 minutes.
Just checking things, because otherwise the room would be glowing for you. So it was a 24. Yeah, that hits.
24. Okay, that's 11 percussive.
Nice. Already hit by shards of from the blast, and 2 officers kind of thrown back and now suffering multiple wounds. The general kind of twists out of the way instinctively, but the gunshot does still slash through part of his arm. It's a flesh wound, but you see grips the side of it, trying to repress some of the injury. So how much damage is that? Is 11?
11.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. That's everything you can do. Do you want to move, or are you happy where you are in front of Celestia?
If I've got the movement and
Hold up. You get 2 attacks as base. You can throw. Yeah, you can use another. You can shoot another flintlock. You get 2 attacks as your attack action, so you could bomb, flintlock with the other hand. Make
Amazing.
an attack. Make another attack roll.
Shoot him again.
Doing this,
please.
Okay, that's 25
Yep,
to hit.
that hits.
Yes.
Roll damage.
Okay.
I'm very stressed, guys.
I'm so fucking stressed.
That's another 11 damage.
Okay. Yeah.
He drops dead. That'd be so good. He's not going to drop
He's
dead.
not dropping dead.
Come on, he's a general.
But he again kind of
like...
in the same spin now. This time the bullet slashes past his thigh, and you see him sag a bit. But again, it's the fucking flesh wound. You've not managed to break his leg or anything like that. Okay. Yeah, staying where you are?
Do I have enough movement, and would it even make any logical sense for me to take cover behind the table where it is now?
You have enough movement. Depends. If you think you're going to be attacked by gun, taking cover behind the table would give you some cover. I guess technically, yeah. If they attacked you over the table, you'd have some cover from like the general saber.
Do they have guns?
Both of them have. All of them have a flintlock. The general has a saber as well. like a just as an officer's saber. And actually, as they are staff officers, they would actually have a secondary weapon. But it wouldn't be a full-on saber. They just basically have long knives, like the halfling issue sacks.
Right, fine.
Two staff officers.
All right. In which case, then, he would take cover behind
the table. Cover behind the table. I'm going to note that. And it's time for the officers to act.
Oh God.
Okay. Quick Arcana checks on the officers to see if they notice which of them, if they can tell who cast the spell. Yeah, they can't.
Oh, good.
They are, however, still going to attack the person who just threw a bomb and then shot the general twice.
Yep.
So one of them is going to go for the lady at the door whose gun exploded. One is going to go and try.
She looks useless.
Is going to go.
Bad luck.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. Both of them are going to fire once and then try and follow up with their with their sexes. So gunshot and stab against Celestia. Okay, the gunshot. No, that's a 14.
That is my armor class. So
okay, no, that hits you rather than hitting the door. So you take.
Choose a reaction. I don't want to do it now, but I've just lost track of whether I have a reaction right now.
You have a reaction.
Okay, I'm not doing it right this
cool,
second.
But you do have one. So that's 7 points of percussive damage from the shot.
That's doable.
And then the stab happens immediately afterwards. You take another 8 points of damage, however, from being stabbed. As they shoot you just sort of in the thigh and then try and stab you, and you kind of use your arm to deflect it, but it still slashes you down along the arm.
Mm-hmm.
The other officer going for Corzin sort of stands on the far side of gets the opposite side of the table and fires down. So this is.
Is he then within 5 feet of me?
Yes, although there is a table kind of within.
Yeah.
you.
Okay. So yes.
So. Good point, actually, I suppose.
Disadvantage?
Yeah. True, he would, so I'm giving disadvantage. That's only an 11, so that misses. Smacks into the floor and not the window because of the direction of fire.
Yeah.
Good point. The sword attack against you, however, is straight, but kind of stabs and misses and hits the table instead with the sacks. Okay, that's the officer's go. Scamp.
Is there a key in the door? Is it possible to lock this door?
This door does not appear to have a lock.
Okay.
It's a meeting room.
Yeah. Some of them have locks.
Some of them have locks, but this particular one just doesn't.
Shit.
Yeah, this one doesn't seem to have a lock. I'll roll it. Yeah, let's roll a luck check, actually. Let's see whether this, in their design, the architect decided to give this one a lock. Roll a luck check for me, please.
13.
Not that lucky. There is a lock. We'll say there's a lock, but they didn't open it with a key.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it was already unlocked.
Yeah, so it can't be locked. There's no way of locking the door from this side.
No.
And I'm so good at blocking things. Can I back up right against the door and just double check that the silent spell reaches right to the edge?
Just pressing you against the door and giving it a tap.
Well, just to see if I can do anything, because I have no spells that aren't verbal.
Yeah, well
I've got 2, but neither of them are combat
When
spells.
I cast the silent spell, I would have taken the time to try and make sure that it covered the entirety of the room, and anything that overlaps, it would be.
So you would, you cast the spell.
Yeah, I cast the spell. So
did you include a sound spot? Is the question.
As in, where the focus of the spell.
Did you know how much it overlaps? Would you set it to blanket the whole room?
Yes.
Which is what I interpreted. Then there is no sound. There is no spot where you have sound.
So I'm just going to stand and block the door.
Okay.
Take out my knife.
Take out your knife. Shall we call dodge action?
Yeah.
Dodge action.
The best
one other thing.
Sorry.
Roll a D100.
Oh, you bastard.
Well, hopefully it won't be anything that requires hopefully it will be something that requires verbal and it's no fucking good.
got the
15. That doesn't sound good. That sounds really bad.
The low ones
Ellie,
are
the player's handbook is behind you. Do you mind
Sorry,
handing
yep,
it to
go
me?
for it.
Sorry, what was that?
15.
15.
Oh no, that's actually pretty good.
Okay, you feel strangely energetic.
Great.
Yep, for the next minute, you regain 5 hit points at the start of each of your turns.
So fit.
Nice.
That's well good.
Yeah, you can just feel the adrenaline pumping through you.
With my little knife.
The general.
Dodge action. I'll think of something better to do next turn.
Yeah, the general who goes next looks at you, sees you just vaguely waving a knife, immediately discounts you as a threat.
Dwarf with a knife.
Yeah, give me who he is. Alright, he needs to get out. This man is smart. Okay. He's going to raise his gun and go for the window.
Oh, of course he is.
Okay.
So, shot at the window.
Could be useful later, though.
Windows DC. Because you can do this without having to speak, I will say, Scamp, it looks like he's on target. Up to you whether you want to invoke this.
Oh. Like, really well on target? There's no way of knowing, is there?
It looks like it's like his hands wavering a bit from the blood loss and the shots that he's taken. It looks like it's pretty close, but he's probably going to make it looks close.
Oh, fuck it, I'll do it. I'm going to be out of sorcery points. I'm going to have to convert some stuff. I should have done that on my fucking turn, and I forgot. Oh well, right, yeah, I'm doing it. Oh, that is a 4. This dice is... Or is it a 1? No.
Yep, that's a 4.
Oh,
It's a 4.
it's a 4
Yeah.
on some sides.
Okay, the gunshot misses and embeds itself soundlessly in the frame of the window.
Oh.
Rather than smashing open the window
well done.
itself.
I wonder if that would be audible from outside.
Not
This
with...
dice is faulty.
Not
It's a
with
different number on it. Like,
We're saying it was a 4.
Well,
That was
the one
first
I
thing.
could see was a 4.
So it's... I think
regardless,
I might
though,
Use that one.
Yeah, I'm going to not use that D4 again.
Yeah.
You're not really sure whether that could be audible from the outside, but you're pretty sure that you included the entirety of both sides of the windows in your thing, so you're sure it's not. He does still have his saber, though, because
He would.
get special attack. This particular build gets some attacks, and because he's now and so he's going to go around the table. So he's sort of between Scamp, Celestia, and Corzin. You're all actually within 5 feet of him.
Opportunity attacks!
If he leaves
goes
the space,
Right.
which he currently
I don't have
doesn't.
a reaction anyway.
Yeah, and I think rolling an Arcana check for him. Okay, he knows you cast the silence spell,
Right.
so he is going to slash at you twice with his saber.
Okay. Come at me, bro.
Yeah, so the first one slashes straight down, and let's roll some damage. You take... okay. You take... This guy's still pretty muscly from his old years. You take 9 points of slashing damage from the first attack. The second attack, as it kind of slashes you just across the chest. Not too deeply, but deeply enough. Roll a concentration check. So this is a Constitution saving throw. You need to beat a 10. Well, a 10 or better.
19.
Hey.
No, 19.
Kind of the pain lances through you that you hold on to the silence spell. So slashes again, but you duck out of the way. That's his go.
Okay.
Top of the round, Celestia. Your gun is a tattered ruin in your hand.
I am going to take out my potion of fire breathing and drink some.
Okay.
What was the damage? It's like 4d6.
Let me just double
I'm
check.
pretty sure it's 4d6 from what I remember, but please do check
It might
because
be
I don't want to get
3d6.
that wrong.
It might be 4d6.
I feel like it's 4 because I seem to remember that I had a point with the CD where I rolled 3 6s and a 5 and it was the greatest roll of my life.
Yes, I want to say 4.
Yeah.
Let me just double check.
46.
Yeah, 46. Fantastic.
Brilliant. So I'm going to do that, and because it's a bonus action, I can just breathe it at him, can't
Yep,
I?
you can.
Fantastic. Let's do that.
Okay, I'll roll a dex save.
Come on.
Oh my god.
Oh shit, that's really good.
Whoa.
Did he save?
He did not. What did you roll?
22.
Nice.
2 6s, 2 5s.
That is ridiculous. This is a new dice as
Yes,
well,
one
and
of
it's
them on
done
the
good.
Stardust dice, pointy tail. Thank you.
I mean, again, to call back to a Mortal Kombat. Finish him.
Oh boy!
Where is he in the room?
He is right in front of you. You're kind of almost like in the middle of a triangle of you, Scamp, and Corzin. The two staff officers still at the back, like.
I grab him by the lapels, bring him in as though I'm going to snog him, and just breathe fire silently into his face, and I imagine his face sort of melts. And then I just...
like Raiders of the Lost Ark style.
And then I just, still holding him, drop him, and he just splats to the floor like
as
a
you
sack of
grab
potatoes.
him, he drops the sword and the gun, kind of grabs hold of your arms, and then as the fire happens, you feel the fingers tighten on your upper arms before eventually just loosing.
That's so disturbing.
And his flaming, charred skull atop his body slumps to the ground soundlessly.
I make a motion, like, towards the window. And I can't do anything else with my
There's been a few
turn.
weird flashes coming from this room thus far. Corzin.
It's fine, though, because the King's ambassador murdered the general.
Yeah. Also, you're a drow, and they might think that it was the avant-garde.
That's not a bad thing either.
We just need to get
out! We need to leave!
Okay.
Politically, this could be really good, but we need to live.
What did you do in your D&D session today? We immolated Napoleon!
Corzin.
Yes.
Your go.
Right.
I mean, Celestia, you've got movement if you want, but...
I still want to keep in front of the door until it looks like
Yeah,
we're leaving,
okay.
I think. So I'm
Corzin.
going to say that I don't want them to be able to run out.
Right, okay, so the two guards, are they still
The two
within
officers
5
are
feet
still
of me?
where they were originally. No, sorry, no, because they move forward. So one is in front of Celestia, having kind of stabbed at her. One is on the other side of the table from you. Both are looking, mouths agape in horror at the assassination of their commanding officer.
Okay.
So one's within 5 feet of you, one is 10 feet away.
Oh, part of me really feels bad. Okay, no, he's gonna come up from behind the table, pistol in each hand, and mouth drop it.
Roll an intelligence. An intimidation check. Given the
Given
brutal
the situation
manner,
advantage?
I'm going to give you advantage.
Okay.
Yeah, given the brutal manner in which their
Go on, mate.
leader just died.
Oh, that one's cocked.
Okay.
Okay,
Still
so
shit, though.
intimidation. Okay, that's just an 11.
I'll roll an insight in both of them, but one of them just drops his sacks and pistol, puts his hand up. The other one, which I'm going to say is that was the one in front of Celestia. The one in front of you is like, no, you're right here, mate. Still got a sword. It is your action to make an intimidation check like that.
Okay. So would my bonus action? Will I be able to try and if he's got a blade in his hand? I know I'm going to be shooting with disadvantage here, but I'm going to try and shoot his hand.
What? Yeah, because you use technically, you're only allowed to get the bonus action if you use the attack action, but since you kind of did use the guns as your action,
Yeah.
I'll let you fire one of them.
Fair enough.
So you can try and disarm him.
Yeah, would this be with disadvantage?
It's not with disadvantage.
Okay.
You just need to make the attack action.
Okay.
And if it hits, then you kind of roll damage, and that helps set the DC he needs for his athletics check to hold on to it.
Fair enough. Okay, that's going to be a 17 to hit.
It hits, roll damage.
Okay. 7.
Okay. But soundlessly, his own pistol, it'd be the pistol rather than the sacks, just flies out of his hand. Reroll that insight check. He drops the sacks, raising his hand.
Okay, I motion with my guns to get across the other to the
Okay,
other.
the pair of them, because they're turned next, both back into the far corner away from the door.
Yeah.
Hands raised.
Right. I motion to you guys.
Yeah,
right.
Scamp and everyone else is next.
Yeah.
Literally everyone can move now.
I'm going to convert some sorcery, a spell slot into some sorcery points.
Okay.
Because that doesn't require my voice, and go open the window.
Okay, the window. This is, by the way, this isn't a window out of the building. This is a window into the main, onto where all the desks are.
Why would you do that?
So that you
Who
can
has
oversee-
indoor windows?
You can see what people are doing.
That's so stupid.
Also,
I assumed
it
it
was
was
his only means of
outside.
escape.
I mean, it's a fair
We
point.
still need to
If
go.
I've actually terribly described that as a window outside,
Yeah, I
this whole
assumed
time.
it was a window to outside.
No,
That's so
you know what?
annoying.
I guess, yeah, I did kind of fuck that up. So we'll say this is a window to the outside. Yeah. You know,
Thank you.
No, like I really didn't properly describe that. So it's a window to the outside.
I have planned this
You can't
whole
be
thing for
operating
there
on-
being a window.
Yeah. No, window on the outside.
I wouldn't have
Window-
done half of this if there wasn't a way
Yeah,
out.
cool.
Like, I'm
Window
not
on
gonna
the
lie.
outside, window
Yeah.
to the outside.
Thank you. Good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just lead straight into the
courtyard or something. I assume.
yeah, basically into the courtyard,
How high up are we?
which is part of where a lot of the
Doesn't matter.
cannons are being kept.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get that window open and
Okay.
wait for them to come over and for the silence to drop.
Okay.
I'm gonna get ready to cast fly.
Okay. You kind of get ready. Classically, I believe, Corzin, you just get into position.
Yeah.
Piggybacking on Scamp.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really need to roll to check your athletics score is so high generally.
Right, as an
Are
action,
you
I can
doing
then
two
silence
flies?
as and when.
Free-
Okay.
Yeah, whenever bonus
And
action
as
thing.
soon as we're in position, and as soon as the sound,
Yeah, goes.
Okay, goes from.
and I'll twin a fly spell.
Okay, the pair of you with Corzin on the back fly up into the central courtyard of the Royal Arsenal. Soldiers kind of look over. What the fuck? You fly up into the air. You're soaring above, and from here you get a view of the whole city. You can now see how the fighting has pushed towards almost to City Hall. It's already onto the docks. Resistance has been pushed back into a narrow corner near of the city. But the guns are firing from St. Antoine's Chateau. And then from up above, in the black skies, a rumble of flashes of light, rumbling thunder. Lightning strikes the Star Fort. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. The powder stores explode, cannons blast apart, and with a rumbling of sea foam, you see strange figures begin to rise up, clambering onto the docks. In the distance, more lightning bolts begin to slam down on ships maintaining the blockade. The sea, you can see, is just swirling around some central vortex. And Corzin, from your position looking over Scamp's shoulder, you look down, and as if it's looking right back up at you in the centre of that vortex is a great golden eye.
Oh.
And that is where we are going to pick up next week. Thank you all for playing. Thank you all for listening. And farewell from all of us here at Flintlocks and Fireballs. Fair seas and natural 20s.
I've searched so long, felt so much fear. At last my princess is right here. To keep her safe with all my strength, I can't even stay at arm's length.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.